When is that soiree?
September the 12th, Saturday the 12th. First good day of college football. I'll not watch a second of it. Such is life. I don't care anymore. I really don't. Ken's been helping. I talked to Lee Health. That's moving along. I'm talking to Coca-Cola on Thursday.
Is that Simino? Lee Health? Chris Simino?
Yes. We talked on Monday. We're going to talk again by the end of the week. He was going to meet with his team. He's all for it. He's in charge. So unless he gets big pushback, I don't see there being a problem. He had a couple of concerns. I addressed them, and we're moving on. Good morning, everybody. Jimmy W., I have a question. 823, why?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. On this hump day, we got to get over it. Let's do it together, shall we? How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's funny, this morning I was up doing my thing, and I'm like, all right, I got to wake up a little earlier tomorrow. I mean, not 1:30 early. I don't need to see the first guys tee off, but I got to get up a little earlier. I got to make sure the TV in the studio is set. I had to move the Fire Stick to another bedroom while my son was here. Got to get that played. There's a couple of things that got to happen today, David. But I'm getting excited for morning golf. I'm not going to lie to you. I've needed a sports fix the last couple of days. Got it yesterday with the World Cup. We'll get it today with the World Cup. But a little morning major is sounding pretty good to me.
Well, and not only that, it goes till, mid-afternoon.
Right.
So, right. I mean, the golf will go to around 3 o'clock Eastern. So, yeah, that's tomorrow.
Yep. So I'm ready for that.
Christopher Powers will join us later on in the show. We'll talk a little British Open. He doesn't mind making a wager or two. We'll see where he's putting his shekels for this Open Championship. A little more action, not much, but a little more action than I thought there was going to be in France, Spain.
I thought there was a decent amount of action. I thought the pace of play, if you will, or style of play was a little, particularly the fact that Spain scored as early as they did, and there still seemed to be action in the game. Because when they got the penalty, David, I thought it was going to be keep away for another 70 minutes or whatever the hell it was.
Right. I thought we were the group behind Patrick Cantlay. That's
right.
What I was thinking. I'm like, oh boy, it's going to take a while. Whew. But France hadn't trailed the whole tournament. Spain's given up 1 goal in the whole tournament. I mean, this is taking that Devils left wing lock and saying, we're not interested in that. You guys gave up like 2 goals a game.
Good mid-late 90s reference there, David. That's very good. That's a little bit, young for this show to be referencing that early. We usually like to go back to the 70s or 80s, so I appreciate you going mid-late 90s there with the Devils left wing lock, but I think it's a hell of a comp.
I only wanted to go 30 years ago with my first reference and then work my way back.
Okay, fair enough.
We found Barney Miller last night and watched a couple episodes on one of those channels, in the 200s on our cable. And, we don't watch anything in the 200s. And all of a sudden, my wife found some Barney Miller. She said, you watch Barney Miller? I go, did I watch Barney Miller? That's like one of the Gary Player of sitcoms. Are you kidding? Underrated.
Ooh, that's interesting. That take right there, in and of itself, I could do an hour on the Gary Player of sitcoms. I will take nominations all day. I would say it's not good enough to be the Gary Player. I think it's only, it's a major or two.
Gotcha.
Yeah, to me, the Gary Player might be Taxi. It's kind of been forgotten about. The ensemble cast, very, very good. Won a lot of Emmys, and yet we don't treat it the same way we treat the Seinfelds and MASH and some of the other shows. But okay, I like where you're going with that. It may be just an off-air discussion the entire show, but damn, you've got everything working this morning for me with that one, David.
Well, we're going to have to figure out then how many majors. Okay, since we got golf on the mind with the Open coming up tomorrow, and so how many majors has each sitcom earned?
Exactly. Well, and you may have to do that. Literally, that could be by the decade, if you know what I mean. The Gary Player of 80s sitcoms, the Gary Player of 90s sitcoms, etc. Because there's at least one show a decade that doesn't get the love that it deserves long term, that it's not really remembered. But all of a sudden, Barney Miller has started appearing in my algorithms when I go down my TikTok holes. And trust me when I say I watch the whole clip every day. The thumb's not moving past that one.
I mean, more majors than anyone in the last 40 years not named Tiger. More majors than Arnie, more majors than Watson. Okay, that's what we're talking about when we say the Gary Player. 9, by the way. 9 majors for Gary Player. And won the career Grand Slam, I believe, before Nicklaus did. Just saying. So
I found an interesting stat this morning in regard to the British Open, David.
Okay.
Not necessarily stat, an interesting guy. People are always looking for the odds. And how
Right.
Tong Lee was brought up earlier in the week by Whit Watson. And I'm like, well, that's got a little something to it. But the other one that I doubt anyone is thinking of, and I don't know if he'll win, but Matthew Jordan, who is from about an hour south of Birkdale, has played in the past 3 Opens and has top 10 2 of the 3. That's a guy that you won't hear anyone mention when it comes to it. That's a guy like, for instance, a prop bet. Who's leading after Thursday bet? Because usually this tournament has a name on the top of the leaderboard after day one, and you're going, who?
And it's often an international player, too.
Right.
While the U.S. Open oftentimes has the obscure American player leading after the first 18, the Open Championship usually has an obscure, Englishman, or Spaniard. So, okay, I like that. So you're thinking a top 10 bet
Right.
with him.
Yes, I'm thinking a top 10 bet. I'm done trying to pick winners. I can't do it. I mean, I'll put my pick out there. I've already got who it is, I believe. And we'll give that at some point we got to do it today, because by the time we're on the air tomorrow, there will have been 4.5 hours of golf played.
Yeah, 5. I mean, by the starting 5 tomorrow, they will have teed off for 5 hours. Yeah.
So there you have it. British Open tomorrow, the big semi this afternoon. I have a buddy that I've known forever, and he and I we text other things, but it's usually sports. And he has his teams. He doesn't pay attention to soccer except for the World Cup, but he has his teams. And he'll always pull for the African nations. Always. If they're doing anything, I'll get a text that'll just say Ivory Coast. That'll be it, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So yesterday I get a text, and it wasn't it started with we, meaning he and I. He goes, We're pulling for Spain, right? Because I've said, you know me, I've said anybody but France.
Right.
Literally, the text starts out, anybody but Spain, right? And he goes, and you're pulling for Argentina tomorrow, right? And I said, well, that's a tough one. I said, yes, anybody but France. I said, tomorrow I'm torn. I said, because whoever wins that match, I will root for in the final, whether it's Argentina or England. And like I told you, I have a guy that I met at the British Open pub who sponsored us for a while. He told me, I don't remember if it was 7 months or 7 weeks. He was either 7 months old or 7 weeks old the last time England won the World Cup. So he's never seen it. It's like you
Right.
with tennis. You'd never seen it. It
Nope.
happened. You have no recollection of it. So this was your first. Essentially, it was your virgin title, your Madonna title, David, as I like to say.
Well, and I was rolling around on the floor, okay, at the place that we were staying when they won. So, you know, I mean, I wasn't in a wedding gown, but I mean, you know, I was casual.
Right. I doubt you grabbed yourself, but that's for another day.
Right.
But I like this guy. I would love to see he and some of the English folks that I've met there be extremely happy. And at the same time, to see Messi do this again. And they're the underdog. Whoever wins today is the underdog. Mark my words.
Which is funny because technically Argentina is the number 1 ranked team in the world, according to FIFA.
Yeah. What do they know?
Yeah, it's true.
You know, I remember when the U.S. was ranked ahead of some teams heading into a World Cup and got blitzed. So I've never, that's as bad as the coaches poll. I don't know who's filling these out, David, but it's an associate AD somewhere.
I feel like the United States in soccer is like the 9th best team in the SEC. And you look at the preseason rankings, and then they're piling up those early season wins because they haven't played anybody. And you're like, hey, maybe so-and-so is pretty good this year, like Missouri. And then all of a sudden, maybe not.
Right. This is the football power rankings where 12 teams from the SEC are ranked in the top 23, David.
Right. Where every softball team gets a bid.
But
can't even leave one out.
Exactly. But I think Spain's going to be the prohibitive favorite on Sunday. I don't care who they play. But I'm rooting for this underdog, whoever it is. And I have reasons to want to see England win. I have reasons I want to see Argentina win. Yesterday exceeded expectations. The game was more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. Today, I'm hoping my expectations are very high of this game.
Yes, so
you
is
said
mine.
yesterday, first 1 to 3. I'm with you. I'm hoping that's what we get. That we get a repeat, essentially, of Mexico and England, which was maybe aesthetically not great, but from everything else you want, it was epic.
So that's later this afternoon, 3 Eastern on Fox. It's in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
England, Argentina. And England's already won a game there. They beat the Congo, came from behind. That was the one when Harry Kane scored those 2 late goals. So we can't lose today. Either winner is a very compelling story on Sunday. Very compelling. Miller and Moulton. Good show lined up for you today. We'll go to Ann Arbor, check in with Tony Garcia, the Free Press, on this Ward Manual, Michigan story. It's a hump day. That means Seth Everett and Christopher Powers to look ahead to the Open Championship. It's all coming up on Miller and Moulton.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real. If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at @MarkMiller or me at @TheDavidMoulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest, now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Okay, Mac, you said you were in Greenland. You're fishing on the second largest, and then I think we had a spelling error. You're fishing on the second largest what in the world?
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome, dude. When I grow up, I want to be just like you.
I know.
Very envious. I don't know, envy is whatever, not good either, but dang it, I'm envious. I'm not jealous. I'm envious. All right, now we got to see if I can do what I need to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't think that there was. I thought he was on there. I just didn't know what it was. I wasn't arguing with him. Pittsburgh's fantastic. It's a great city. It really is.
Packing, I think, is the worst part of moving. Unpacking, I always felt like I was accomplishing something. We're over the hump if we're unpacking.
God bless it. Ay, ay, ay. All right, that's it for today. I got to do this after the show. I forgot to do it again. Son of a biscuit.
Mac, you wearing any of your Maple Leaf stuff while fishing in Greenland? Figure it'd be
Would the fish be scared or not bite if you wore that?
I figure the mornings would be, perfect hoodie weather.
And Tim, the game was on Big Fox last night. It wasn't on a streaming service. Regular old Fox. Apparently, I mean, it did start a lot later than it was supposed to because I forgot about it. I went to turn it on I'm like, oh crap! It was like 8:35, and I saw all the runs basically. I mean, it was 0-0, top of the first when I turned it on. Good for you, Mac, wearing your White Sox gear.
Oh, yeah, you got to. Tied for first at the break.
And if you want to, for good measure, throw a Pope hat on. Telling you, that old Jon Stewart bit. And it's like, he was young. He did the HBO bit. He's talking about Pope hat being not too far off from the hat of the Ku Klux Klan leader. And everybody oohs. He goes, oh, not funny when it's your God.
Your guy, right. God,
damn, that was fun.
That's funny. Jon Stewart had a funny monologue Monday night.
I saw parts.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Starting 5 in a little more than 15 minutes time. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. So, boy, that was uneventful last night, huh? We were worried about Spain and France being boring. How about that All-Star game? Yikes. Who was it? The manager of the American League, Schneider, who said, well, this is what you're going to get from now on. I'm sorry, what? And then he's like, well, yeah, we got all these pitchers throwing 100 miles an hour. How much contact do you think is going to be in this game going forward?
Well, that's why I said yesterday, I like the pitcher that just says I'm throwing the heater. I mean, that way the batter's got a shot. When these guys, throw the 94 mile an hour slider mixed in with heaters that are moving, it becomes a little more difficult. I had it on in the background. I can't honestly say I paid hardly any attention, David, but I did. I did enjoy the first inning when Cease is on the mound and he's having the conversation with the booth and they're talking about what pitch he's going to throw. Throw this. Now I'm going to throw. I mean, that's fun because we don't get to see that. That's just kind of cool. You had the ump cam and you know what the pitch is. So, and then when he's missing with changeups or whatever it was, it's like, all right, you just get a little more insight. That was kind of fun.
Harper, I thought was funny. If you stuck with the game to the bottom of the 6th, okay, Harper was going to make his pinch hitting appearance. And, I think they have one base runner on and down 3-0. And so Robert sends Harper to the plate and Harper's mic'd. And so the booth's trying to talk to him. And before the booth could get going, he goes, well, boys, this is going to be interesting. Let's see if I can make contact. Foul one off. So, but 4 runs total, 1 extra base hit, right, in the game? 2, maybe? That's it?
I mean, the biggest thing to me, and shame on me for not reading this morning, but I'm hoping Junior Camaro's okay. He took a hard pitch off the finger. That's
X-rays are negative.
Yeah, but now, how many games did he miss?
Well, exactly. And also that doesn't mean that sometimes there's not a hairline fracture upon further review. But yes.
So that was, to me, that was the biggest part of the damn game.
Totally. He's got 28 homers at the All-Star break. He's on pace for another 45 home run season. He's not even 25 years old yet. So, yeah. I mean, Yankee fans going, well, that would even things up with Judge injured if he's out a month. That would help. But
Yeah,
Caminero
that was the biggest thing to me last night.
was apparently cool afterwards because the pitcher felt just awful. And he came over to the dugout, and Caminero reassured him. He goes, "Hey, man, you weren't trying to hit me. It's just part of the game. It happens." And the pitcher was like, "Oh, my goodness. He took, an 800-pound gorilla off my shoulders." He says, "I still feel bad, but I mean, I was almost despondent until Caminero was giving me a pep talk." But National League looked like the Yankees at the beginning of that series in the Trop last week. What, 15 strikeouts? 11 pitchers, by the way. Whew. That's a lot of... Do you think we should eliminate the walk from the dugout? Do you think we should do it like the intentional walk? Okay, they got usually one guy warming up. I mean, it's not usually a mystery who the manager's bringing in. Okay, should you get like 2 steps out of the dugout and yell at the home plate umpire, "Hey, Tony, he's coming in"?
Only if we install a zip line from every dugout or from every bullpen to the mound, and the pitchers zip line, and they're out there in less than 5 seconds. Either way, it takes forever. This is, David, this is almost as silly as the manager wearing a uniform.
Right.
But baseball steeped in tradition, it ain't going away. I mean, my goodness, the fact that we can actually put 4 fingers up and put a guy on first base now is amazing to me.
A radical.
Right.
Stuff you didn't think you'd see in your lifetime. Right. We've got a pitch clock, instant replay, and you can just hold up 4 fingers and just walk a guy. What? So, American League won, scored 3 in the first. You could have gone to bed after that. I am glad that they're at least wearing their uniforms again. Okay, that they gave up on the idea of the alternate jersey and trying to sell merchandise. All of us baseball people said, the Milwaukee Brewers are my favorite team. Can the guy representing us look like he plays for the Milwaukee Brewers? I don't think I'm asking too much.
Yeah, this goes back from our childhood. David and I are on the same page here more than anything, because as we said yesterday, our teams were bad when we grew up.
Right.
And seeing your guy out there, your one guy for a lot of years wearing his jersey was the highlight of the night. Hell, it might have only been in the introductions because we weren't sure if they were getting in. Because if you go back to all-star games in the 70s and early 80s, the starters played 6 innings. So, maybe a pinch hit, maybe a pinch run, maybe a defensive addition late in the game was all you got. So I'm with you. I like seeing, just the shot there of Verlander, Schittler, and Mizorowski on the other side, all wearing their unis when they had the 3 shot and talked to them through a uni. Seeing the old English D, that makes me happy.
Right. You're like, 3.5, 4 out in the race. You're like 7, 8 games below 500. Can you just put my best uniform out there, will you please? Make me happy.
David, today is National Hot Dog Day. I don't know where near you could get a dog, but today would be the day to do it. It's not like a burger. You can get a burger anywhere. You got to kind of search out a good dog, because I don't think that there's a fast food place that serves an adequate hot dog. You got to be a hot dog joint. And fortunately for me, I've got 2 that are within like 7 minutes of my house. 2 different style dogs, 2 pretty good dogs. One's a Detroit dog. One, I think the one's like considered Buffalo, the Matt's Red Hot thing. I think that's like a Buffalo thing, that Red Hot dog, but people love it. But today is National Hot Dog, David. So, I'm sure that is a doctor's dream day for people to go out and eat, because they love when you eat hot dogs. And by love, they just know you're going to make another appointment. But for me, I'm a hot dog guy. I'd have a hot dog over a hamburger any day if it's a good dog. But you can't just get one anywhere. So, hot dog day, World Cup semis, and a starting five coming up in about 8 minutes' time as we start getting ready for the second half of the baseball season. And I told you yesterday, David, I haven't been this pumped about a July in baseball in a long time.
Well, the trade deadline's in 19 days. 19 days.
Thank goodness it wasn't July 1st like it used to be. I mean, think about it. Who would have made moves then? I think these 2 weeks will determine a lot of teams and what they do as far as the trade deadline. And I don't know if they would have come, 15 days ago, if you know what I mean.
Right. Well, certainly the Red Sox were sellers, 2 weeks ago. I mean, heck, Mark, you went back into the 70s and 80s. The trade deadline was June 15th. June 15th. That's why if you look at some old, baseball cards or what have you, guys were with teams to the middle of June because that's when you had to trade them by. Miller and Moulton, starting five, coming up.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
We started our show 18 years ago and have been fired 3 times, but Miller and Moulton have never lived on the edge like we are now. We have our best morning ratings ever, are steadily adding affiliates, yet we only have a few sponsors. And if that doesn't change, we can't continue. But if you want to advertise on Miller and Moulton, reach out to one of us directly by texting sponsor to 21,000 or contact Mark on X at @MarkMiller or me at @TheDavidMoulton. You can save Miller and Moulton and make your business some serious money by texting 21,000.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I'm certainly no World Cup historian, but this article in The Athletic on the history of the Argentine-England World Cup games, not just the hand of God, which I was aware of. I didn't realize all of these others, and going back all the way to 66 when they played in the quarters, and there were 56 fouls called. It's interesting. basically in 66, it's saying Argentina got hosed against England. And one of the England players even said so after the game.
Wasn't one of the other games after 86? Wasn't it? Because Beckham and Rooney both got red cards in a World Cup match.
Well, Beckham got it against Argentina.
Right, okay. See, I'm rooting for England to wipe away all the curses. You know, not just to beat Argentina, but beat them in penalties.
I think that's a bit much.
I know. I'm asking for a lot.
And since England's the Maple Leafs, there's that part of me too.
They're the Maple Leafs. I thought they were the Three Lions. Huh. I did not know that. I know, Alan. It's an entirely American crew for this.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's get the country that doesn't play soccer to referee the biggest game.
Biggest game for England in 60 years. England could only hope it's a replay of the Falkland Islands. Where's Thatcher when you need her?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. Tony Garcia will join us 1 hour from now. We'll talk the Michigan situation with Ward Manuel. Is he staying or going? I think he came out yesterday and said, "Oh, I ain't going anywhere."
David, this thing, look, this is hard for me because I'm trying to be
objective.
I really am.
Right.
But there's a few people that were calling this for what it was a while ago. And the way they were attacked by Sharon Moore, with his indiscretions, his legal team, and everything this guy said was 100% accurate for a couple of years. And that's just one part of this. I mean, that's the other thing here, David. The Sharon Moore cheating, told Wade Manuel that his fingers were fat, and that's why he was sending Instagram messages to like every hot woman on the planet. Oh my God.
Wow. I got fat fingers, and yet I don't do that.
Exactly.
Huh.
So, I mean, this thing stinks. And
I guess.
I guess the one thing that's annoying is that the cop out everybody does it. That's Michigan's answer to this right now. That's their fan base's answer. Well, everybody does this. Really?
It's funny.
24 scandals in however many years in your athletic department, and everybody does this? Multiple sports?
Mark, I just didn't realize all fat fingers were not the same. Huh. Just learned something new.
No doubt.
Anyway, Tony Garcia in an hour. And before we do the starting five here, since today's National Hot Dog Day, okay, I mean, is there a hot dog question we haven't come up with?
Not really.
I know we've done various ketchup, okay, but that's usually, do you prefer mustard or ketchup? Do you just want to ask yay or nay? Do you put ketchup on your dog, or is that going to make you sick?
I can't. I'm in a good mood.
Okay.
I'm in a good mood. I've already had someone try to mess with me in the chat room with the ketchup thing. Don't do it. Don't push my buttons. I'm in a good mood.
Okay, I'm sorry then. You know what? I say no poll question today on National Hot Dog Day.
Well, we can do. Are you interested in England and Spain? Who you rooting for? I mean, we can. Does the month of July in baseball have you as fired up as I am? I can come up with a poll question. I'm not going ketchup and hot dogs.
Okay,
that's all.
I mean, just remember, if we do, we'll get a bunch of votes. If you want to talk about, the 19 days until the trade deadline, just be prepared for, less votes than days. So that's all. 19 minutes before the hour, time now for
the starting five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the starting five.
Well, we'll start with the World Cup. Just 5 shots on goal in the whole match. Spain scored on a penalty kick early in the first half, and then on a 2-on-1, which turned into a 1-on-none fairly early in the second half. Spain has allowed 1 goal in 7 World Cup matches. It's unbelievable. 2-0 Spain. They're in their first World Cup final since 2010 when they won it. They'll face the winner of England-Argentina, 3 o'clock Eastern time today from Atlanta. You've got stars all over the pitch. The 2 biggest, Messi for Argentina. He's tied with Mbappe for the most goals. He scores 1 more. He's likely to win the Golden Boot. And then there's Patrick Kane, Harry Kane, Patrick Kane, Harry Kane. Anyway, Harry Kane's got 6 goals in the World Cup. England hasn't won this sucker in 60 years. England, Argentina, 3 o'clock from Atlanta on Big Fox. Baseball, all-star game in Philadelphia. It was over in the top of the first. American League scored 3 runs. Pair of Yankees drove them all in. Cody Bellinger, Ben Rice. 4-0 the final. 11 American League pitchers held the National League to 3 hits and struck them out 15 times. Miguel Vargas homered in the 8th to account for the only other run of the game. But, as Mark referenced earlier, you could make the case that the biggest news event of the game was not the result and who did what. It was that Junior Caminero got hit on the hand by a 98-mile-an-hour sinker by the Cardinals' Riley O'Brien in the 3rd inning. Caminero came out of the game. X-rays were negative. Caminero said after the game he really thought it was broken. Thank goodness it's not. Rays are going to need him. The 3-game lead when the second half of the season begins, although that's just a saying because they've actually played over 60% of the season in terms of games played. So Caminero hit by a pitch, initial X-rays negative. Football. We were talking about this yesterday. Well, the Jets caught a break. Geno Smith caught a break. Police say they're no longer investigating Geno Smith for domestic battery. Now, all the traffic violations, he's going to have to get out his checkbook. But the biggie, the one that could cost him his career, he's no longer being investigated for. Along those lines, Rams left tackle Alaric Jackson will not face domestic violence charges, and instead he'll have his fate determined by a diversion program. That's the one position that Rams folks are most concerned about. Do they have enough depth at tackle? My feeling has always been if you have to ask that question, the answer is no. Go and get someone if you can. And we didn't talk about this earlier in the week, probably should have, since we like going 70s and 80s references on this show. But the Commanders are finally getting around to retiring number 44, John Riggins.
I was stunned that it wasn't. Like, that was one of those I read. I'm like, really? Oh, okay.
Now, Riggins' career was interesting. A lot of people forgot that he played the first 5 years of his career with the Jets. The other thing is people don't realize Riggins sat out a year in a contract dispute. In his prime, he was in his late 20s. And Riggins was a marvel in that the two biggest years of his career, he was 34 and 35 years of age as a running back. Rushed for over 11,000 yards, about 7,500 of them with the Redskins / Commanders. 11,000 yards, 104 touchdowns. John Riggins, number 44, to be retired by the Commanders. College football, this is interesting. So one of those neutral site games is Auburn and Baylor, week 1. It's the Aflac kickoff game on September 5th. Yeah, apparently there's now an NIL deal to benefit Auburn that's now associated with this game because it's an Auburn home game that they gave up, and they're playing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's the first time that anybody can recall that NIL is a part of a neutral site game. So September 5th, Auburn-Baylor. The Open Championship gets underway in 19 hours at 1:35 in the morning Eastern tomorrow morning. Focus on the weather at Royal Birkdale, which is along the western coast. The course, Royal Birkdale, is hard, dry, and fast. Have you seen early pictures from Royal Birkdale?
I really have not. That's on me. I'm missing my live from the Open on Golf Channel.
To me, Mark, you know how the baseline, you know how it starts off green at the beginning of Wimbledon?
Yes.
And by the semifinals, it's just a hard, dry, brown mess?
Exactly. Very much. It's hard pan by the end of it.
Well, let me tell you, that's how Royal Birkdale looks now. And there's very little to no rain expected. So a lot of strategy, according to Scotty Scheffler, is going to be involved in playing this course, which then got Nick Faldo to talk about Bryson DeChambeau has no strategy involved with his game of golf, and he'll never do anything in a British Open because of it. So now I'm really rooting for him to win, or at least be on the first page of the leaderboard. You know, the problem is it's Nick Faldo. 6 majors, 3 Open championships. You know, until Rory, greatest golfer ever from across the pond, right?
Absolutely.
So
or certainly of the modern day. I mean, maybe you can go back to the early Open winners there, the guy that won a bunch of them, but yes.
Well, because you had old Tom Morris, and then you had,
young Tom Morris.
Right.
So they were a son of a gun in the member guest.
Oh,
you went up against Morris, you were done.
Nobody could ham and cheese you in the member guest quite like the Morrises. By the way, for what it's worth, Faldo came out a couple of months ago and said Rory's the greatest player from over here ever. You know, for those that think it's me, he goes, I appreciate the kind words. It's not. It's Rory. NBA. Adam Silver says, yeah, this investigation into Steve Ballmer and the Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, yeah, this thing needs to be complete by the start of the season. Doesn't an investigation take you wherever the investigation takes you? Putting a time limit on investigation. However, Mark, according to The Athletic, the investigation by this law firm has uncovered a second sponsor that allegedly set up illicit payments to Kawhi to circumvent the salary cap. And it's not just that one company, Aspiration, that went bankrupt. It's also another company. I mean, besides the library, why would anybody want to set up Kawhi Leonard being a spokesperson for your company?
Well, David, I don't even care about that. I mean, $52 million a year is not enough?
No, apparently not.
That's the part of this that I'm blown away by. Seriously, it's like, I mean, I guess if you're the Clippers, that's the only way you can get guys. Okay.
The Kawhi deal to Toronto is on hold until this investigation is complete because the NBA has told the Raptors, yeah, any penalties that are handed down since you're acquiring Kawhi, all the penalties are going to come your way. I got to admit, that's one of the more asinine things I've heard lately. Okay, shouldn't the Clippers organization, if you want to penalize Kawhi and the Raptors trade for him, then yeah, he has to serve his suspension with the Raptors. But you can't penalize the Raptors for what Steve Ballmer and the Clippers did. That's ridiculous. Seems so to me. And finally, USA Basketball. Eric Spoelstra has waited his turn. He's now the head coach of USA Basketball. He named his 3 assistant coaches. From the college ranks, it's Mark Few of Gonzaga, Oklahoma City's Mark Daigneault, and the Pistons' J.B. Bickerstaff. They're going to assist Spo as they try to qualify and win another gold. Finally, WNBA, Connecticut over Portland, 90-87. And Washington over Toronto, 79-62. And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was the starting 5 big stories you need to know here on Miller and Moulton.
Excellent show lined up for you today. We will head to Ann Arbor and talk about what's going on with the University of Michigan. Tony Garcia will join us in about 40 minutes' time. Seth Everett, top of the 8 o'clock hour, to talk about whatever it is he wants to talk about. How many Arsenal players are left in the World Cup, I guess. And Christopher Powers from the Loop Podcast will join us at 8:38 to talk about the Open Championship.
Football magic numbers, 45 and 56. 45 days to the start of the college season. 8 weeks tonight. Seattle hosting the Patriots in a Super Bowl rematch.
Miller
45 and 56. Sorry, Mark.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at Pelican PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Buying or selling a home? Put a local expert to work for you. I'm Mark Miller, and I believe real estate is about more than transactions. It's about helping people make the right move. From pricing your home to negotiating the best deal, I'll be with you every step of the way. Call or text me today, 239-425-5582. That's 239-425-5582. Experience, local knowledge, and the best personal service. That's the difference.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I don't think the NBA's in that league, rest pause. Unless you have a sports thing here, I have to bury myself, and I need advice.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to tease it and then I just didn't get time. But
That sounds a little past when Colin was right and when Colin was wrong. I mean,
it's way worse. It's one of the low points of my life, and
wow.
I don't know what to do. I'm.
Is it going to be our poll question today?
It could be. I erased a direct message to someone, like wrote it out and erased it before I hit send.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Tony Garcia in 35 minutes. Seth Everett in an hour. Christopher Powers in 90 minutes time here on Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Now, I kind of took us up the break, and I know there was something that you were wanting to talk about this hour, and so you were going to tease it. We didn't get around to it, so the floor is yours to get off your chest what you told me you need to get off your chest.
Well, it's not get off my chest as much as I think I need advice. If you listened, I think it was last week, and it might have just been during a break. One of the things that bothers, I'm not a huge fan of travel sports. I understand that that's the world we live in. I get it. I'm not opposed to the kids that do it. I just think that there's a lot about it that I don't like. Okay. But one of the things that bothers me is that a lot of these kids come from, I know with the families they come from, and yet they sit in front of Publix and they panhandle for money for their team. And I find that a little ridiculous. David, we had, I did car washes. We had a meat and cheese sale for our hockey team. We had different things to raise money. Fundraising's been going on forever. Now fundraising has become begging. I mean, that's really what it is. We stand in front of the store and say, can you give me money for my team? Not even giving you anything, at least a car wash, and the parents who, when we did the car washes, the parents that wanted to give more money, it was an easy way for them to get their car washed and slide a 20 where maybe the other parent could only afford a 5 or a 10 or whatever the case may be. No one had to know who was given what. And other people showed up and we had a lot of fun. To be honest, we had a ton of fun doing it. I remember our car washes for our summer hockey league were a riot. Girlfriends would wear the bikinis and hold the car wash signs, and we'd wash cars. It was always a good day. Did it at a 7-Eleven, David. Slurpees for everybody.
There you go.
Yesterday, I kind of blew an opportunity, and I would just quick sidetrack because I was at Publix picking up my prescriptions, and a gentleman walked out from behind the counter and said, hey, I'm really happy that you're doing well. Glad to hear you back on the air. And he's the manager of the place. So he caught me off guard because, one, he was very nice, and it was incredibly nice of him to say nice things about you and I, and that he's rooting for us and all that kind of stuff. That's incredible to hear. But I have so many questions for a public manager. And after he said something nice, I was caught off guard and couldn't ask the 16 questions that I really want to ask. And when I'm back next time, sir, I'm cornering you, and we're going to talk.
Are you going to have a piece of paper, like notebook paper, like folded in eighths, that's in your back pocket, and you're taking it with you until you finally run into him again, which may be in like October?
David, I'm going to be mean to you, and I'm sorry, but today's 2026. I'm going to have those notes on my phone, which I always have with me.
Well, it just sounded like, this was going to be, I want it all on one side. Okay.
Well,
and this sounds like you've got so many things to discuss that I would just have to keep scrolling if it was on your phone. And, that's not the desired effect.
I can't write as small as you for the starting 5. So I'll go with the notes. But anyhow, I find out from my daughter, because my wife was out of town and I think this was just after I'd gone to Publix. My daughter and I are going to pick my wife up at the airport. And she says, I've got to do a fundraiser Saturday because she is now playing travel soccer because they've taken a league and there's not enough kids for her age group in the rec. So they're now traveling. Oh, good God. And I love the parents. I really do. I love the coaches. So and it's not killing us financially. And if it did, we'd probably still do it. Gymnastics kills me financially. But we have soccer. And she says, I have a fundraiser. I said, a fundraiser where? What are you doing? Publix.
Ha 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 ha. God has got a sense of humor sometimes that is off the charts. This is spectacular. Keep going.
I said, what? She said, yeah, Mom signed us up. I said, you're doing what?
Oh, this is great.
I said, she goes, I don't really want to. I said, I don't blame you. You're going to beg for money? Why? We're paying for this league. I know what the costs are. If we need more money, do we need another $100 a kid for this? What is it? We don't need to go beg and panhandle for. I know the kids on this team. I know what their parents do. By and large, there's no one on this team that needs money. And if there's one or two kids that perhaps need the money, then come see a couple of the parents. We'll take care of your kid. I will be more than happy to. I will give extra if you can't afford it. But there's not one kid on this all lily white suburban team that can't afford their damn travel soccer. We're going to Publix. I had a direct message to the coach written. I said, we're going to beg? Let me get this straight. We don't have enough money that we have to go beg strangers so that our kids travel for soccer instead of playing in the rec league? Are you kidding me? I erased the text message before I sent it. I typed it out. I read it, and I said, my wife will kill me if I press send. And instead, I came to the air, of which I know several parents on the team listen to this show every day. You can text me. We'll come up with the money. This is utterly ridiculous. And to whoever's wife or husband came up with the idea to go beg, yeah, we need to talk. Why don't you just have a sign that says we'll work for food?
You know, therapists recommend that people write down their thoughts, their most painful, what have you, or something they'd like to say to someone, but they don't really have the onions yet to do it. They're not there yet. And so they urge them to write it down. And if you want, hold on to it till you're ready, or just, help get it out of your system and then, throw it away.
And someone's saying in the text chat room that this is taught to help learn kids discipline. This is begging. They're not selling. Let me reiterate. They're not selling anything. There are no baked goods there. There are no bags of peanuts. This is kids with signs saying, help pay for my team. It is nothing more. They might as well stand on the side of the highway and do it. This is begging. This is not fundraising. Fundraising is doing something for your money, actually working. I'm all for work. This is a joke. And every travel team drives me nuts.
How about we used to sell the chocolates.
Yeah, we did that one.
The chocolate bars.
Yep.
Okay, where, you'd ask for $1. Remember, I'm 60 years old.
Chocolate bar for that $1 too. It
was amazing.
It was a solid chocolate bar.
It was good value there for everybody involved. In fact, I think the person eating the chocolate bar got the better end of the deal. So it's okay if you're providing a service.
If you're selling something, that's
fine.
Right. The Girl Scouts go in front of all these stores. They're very smart when they go in front of the marijuana distribution stores and sell their cookies there. That's good marketing. Go to the stoner. He's going Thin Mint, Samoas. He can't get enough of it. Makes a lot of sense.
In fact, I like to give them more money than what they're asking for to basically congratulate them on their intelligence. Setting up shop in front of the marijuana place. You're going to grow up to be something.
I mean, I hawked program ads for our hockey team. I'd go to my mom's boss and say, hey, do you know anybody? And I'd go to, I remember going to this, kind of, I don't know about seedy. Yeah, kind of seedy bar near the plant. I mean, none of our parents were ever going to this bar, but this guy gave me a couple $100 for an ad. They got their name in the program and a little advertisement. And I went back and I mean, I'm all for kids having to do some work to help fundraise for their team. I think that's good. Now you see, the problem is you can't go knock door to door asking for anything because there's a good chance you get shot.
Right. Or attacked by a dog. Right.
But if they want to go in front of a store, they want to put a lemonade stand up, they want to do a car wash at a 7-Eleven, I'm all for it. I will be there for hours to help. I'll help make the damn signs, even though that's probably not a good idea. Begging in front of us. This is begging for money.
Okay. How far are you willing to go with this? Are you willing to risk your daughter's spot on the team? Because there's a very good chance there's going to be at least one parent who's involved in this travel team who feels as adamantly in a positive way about what they're doing as you feel adamantly about how this is awful.
Well, I'm hoping that mom is not listening right now because I'm not going to say squat. Like I said, we have been playing with most of these kids for several years. I thoroughly like all of the parents. They're all good people. I have no matter who I pull my chair up next to at a game, I feel comfortable. There are a couple of the dads that I really like that I would hang out with socially and have on occasion.
Well,
and I know it's not their wives because I know their last names.
Well,
but I mean, like the one girl on our team, she's in gymnastics. Her two brothers are playing travel hockey. It ain't like she can't afford this.
Although I don't know, after two kids in travel hockey, she may be, third favorite kid. I mean, that's what maybe she's finding out. The boys are ahead of her on the travel sports, list. Don't know what to tell you.
Hell, the one mom, I know she's not responsible. Her dad was a big time college coach. Actually, I've thought about trying to get him on the damn show. He was a D coordinator at 4 D1 programs. He's not them. This is.
Well, isn't it the same as NIL, Mark? No?
I hate you.
It seems like the same.
You are rotten. You are rotten.
I mean, isn't NIL basically standing in front of the Publix and asking for money?
Now I want to talk baseball.
I just sponsored a bowl game. That's all.
You know what? I guess we're going to run this ad begging for sponsors. So what the hell's the difference? Miller and Moulton, $21,000 for sponsors, or if you want to sponsor a travel soccer team, either or. Hell, we'll take your money. Miller and Moulton, begging for your change.
NIL, baby. NIL. It's going from college to youth sports.
We'll go to Ann Arbor and talk about Wade Manuel's future coming up in 30 minutes, Miller and Moulton.
We started our show 18 years ago and have been fired 3 times, but Miller and Moulton have never lived on the edge like we are now. We have our best morning ratings ever, are steadily adding affiliates, yet we only have a few sponsors. And if that doesn't change, we can't continue. But if you want to advertise on Miller and Moulton, reach out to one of us directly by texting sponsor to 21,000 or contact Mark on X at @MarkMiller or me at @TheDavidMoulton. You can save Miller and Moulton and make your business some serious money by texting 21,000.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Buying or selling a home? Put a local expert to work for you. I'm Mark Miller, and I believe real estate is about more than transactions. It's about helping people make the right move. From pricing your home to negotiating the best deal, I'll be with you every step of the way. Call or text me today, 239-425-5582. That's 239-425-5582. Experience, local knowledge, and the best personal service. That's the difference.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Feel better.
Oh, no. What the heck?
You're listening.
Police say
Sorry, gang. I did see that, Sonny. That's impressive.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Tony Garcia is coming up in a little more than 15 minutes. He covers Michigan sports for the Detroit Free Press. Tony Garcia, then Seth Everett. And then in about an hour, Christopher Powers. We'll talk a little Open Championship. We'll also talk some wagering on the Open Championship with Christopher Powers in a little more than an hour. We mentioned it earlier in the show. Magic numbers on this day, 45 and 56. 6.5 weeks until the start of the college football season, 45 days. 8 weeks tonight. Seahawks, Patriots, and the kickoff of the NFL season. Now, if you've been with us these last couple of weeks and we've been doing the countdown, we've then been asking you who's the most famous, and we've been going with the NFL number. So today, the answer is obvious. There's almost a part of me, Mark, that wants to say, after Lawrence Taylor, comma, who's the most famous 56 in sports?
Right, because there's a bunch of guys, but it starts and ends with LT. It does. I get it. I was going to let you go on as long as you wanted about the best linebacker, best defensive player to ever play the game of football, because you watched him up close and personal. He played for your team. So not only, like all of us, did you see his big plays, I thought maybe we'd bring Gary Danielson on to talk about him.
Oh, wow.
That's a
wow.
little, that was mean. That was mean, Gary. If
it was. It was. Played 13 years in the NFL there. In fact, he played as long as LT.
Yeah, he did.
In the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Can I, 10 seconds? It's very disappointing, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way. I guess it could be if you were a Buffalo Bills fan of a certain age. Mark, it's very disheartening for me that of the teams that I root for, because I'm a Mets fan, not a Yankee fan, of the teams I root for, he's far and away, the greatest player of any of the teams that I root for.
Right.
And yet he's a really bad human being. And it's really disheartening. It is. Okay. He's a bad dude. Okay. He is. And probably even a really bad dude. And it's disheartening. And I don't know if anybody else feels that way about a great player, but I mean, this is the greatest. I'm a Mets, Rangers, Knicks fan. And yeah, Gretzky played 3 years with the Rangers. It was at the very end of his career.
Right.
Even Messier, as great a hockey player as he is, isn't in the same area code of Lawrence Taylor. And Lawrence Taylor is one of the three greatest to ever play defense in the NFL.
Right. And Messier had obviously the epic year in 94,
Right.
But like Gretzky, most of his greatness came in Edmonton.
Of course. And so I don't know, like if you're an old school Buffalo Bills fan, the obvious is OJ. Before Kelly and Thurman and Bruce Smith. I will say this. I think one of the better 56s that I can just think of off the top of my head, Darryl Talley of the Bills and those 4 Super Bowl teams. And they went to 5 AFC championship games in a 6-year span. And he was one of the cogs of their defense. There are others.
But there's some really good 56. I mean, okay, just Lawrence Taylor. We know where he is.
Right.
How about Ted Hendricks?
83, I thought was his number.
83? Okay, because they've got him on my 56 list. Chris Dolan did wear 56.
Now, Hall of Famer, by the way.
Hall of Famer. Pat Swilling, I think, wore 56.
Yes.
Andre Tippett wore 56.
Absolutely, he did.
I mean, these are great players.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of them Hall of Famers. Yeah. And yet they're not in the area code.
No.
The guy who played for the Giants.
No. So
now, some of his stories that other people tell, I mean, my favorite is Jaworski telling the story in which, obviously before every play, you had to account for where's LT. And I'm at the line of scrimmage and I'm going through my signals and I'm looking around. I can't find him. And I call timeout and I go to the sidelines and Vermeil goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And Jaworski goes, I couldn't find LT. And so I called timeout because I don't want him to go unblocked. And Vermeil points to the other sideline and goes, "He's on the bench drinking a Gatorade. Get back in there. Run the play." Wow. That's intimidation. He ain't even on the field. But whatever. And somebody mentioned in our chat room, it's also how I feel like we've got a couple of big cyclist fans. They love the Tour de France, which apparently is going on right now. And I don't know about you, but I don't pay attention to the Tour de France anymore because after Lance Armstrong, I stopped paying attention to cycling. I just assume they're all cheating now because it was uncovered that before Lance and a little ways after Lance, guess what? They were all cheating. But and I don't know if there's anybody else like that in any of your fandom out there. Just all-time great.
Right. That's what I've told you. I feel so lucky that the guys I rooted for the Detroit teams seem to all be pretty good guys. Yzerman, and he's a Hall of Famer. Joe Dumars. I always like Dumars more than Isaiah. And Isaiah's a bad businessman, but there's nothing out there that says Isaiah's a bad guy.
God, great player. I'd argue. I could almost argue Isaiah Thomas is underrated.
But Barry Sanders. No, I mean
right.
I feel very fortunate. Alan Trammell. I feel very fortunate. 56s, by the way. Mark Burley wore 56. Francisco Rodney, the reliever, wore 56 for most of his career. Hardy Nickerson, by the way, with the Bucks.
There you go.
Good 56. Again, there's LT and there's everyone else.
Right.
Hockey-wise, Sergei Zubov is the only really good 56 I found. And he was a really good player. A lot of great years with Dallas.
Yes. And he was on that 94 Rangers team. So I just, I'm in a quandary about LT.
I get it.
Don't know if any of my 4 teams will ever have somebody who rivals him in terms of playing ability.
I think it's damn near impossible. To do it, you're going to have one of the best players to ever play their sport.
Right. No, I know. So he's a dilemma for me. Okay. Somebody bringing up Pete Rose. you know, it's funny. I never had any ill will towards Pete because I thought the harm that he did to himself and not others. So,
Yeah,
maybe
LT was
that's
a bad person.
yeah, and
Or is a bad person.
still is. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, when you don't want your daughter and your granddaughters to be around a guy, it's not a good guy.
Exactly. But, once again, from a football standpoint, they don't make him any better.
No, in the last 60 years, to me, it's him or Reggie White. I mean, and then I think you got to go all the way back to, Butkus.
And that's a whole different game.
Right, exactly. But anyway, so
Well,
there are
Ann Arbor for some other delightful stories. Wade Manuel trying to hold on to his job. We'll find out if that's going to happen next. Miller and Moulton.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Alan, it was close. It never happened. But yes, it was very close to happening.
I sent you a text.
Oh, okay. Oh, do I have to call him?
No. No, all of our guests are video.
All right. Ward, Wade, Jim, John.
Yeah. With me, it's Lo Lau. Only took 3 years.
Well, I mean, Happy, I would say if I didn't see the 30 for 30, but you're talking about people that signed up to do PEDs may not have been the greatest in the world. I mean, obviously, the guy who set the 100-meter, he was on drugs. Lance Armstrong set every record in the Tour de France. He was on PEDs. Barry Bonds. I mean, when you give them to the best, they produce better results. It's pretty well documented. It doesn't mean you can take an average athlete and make him the best in the world.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Seth Everett will join us at the top of the hour. Christopher Powers from the Loop Podcast and Golf Digest. He'll join us 1 hour from now, where we'll talk Open Championship, which begins in about 18 hours across the pond. Tony Garcia is kind enough to join us at this hour. He covers Michigan sports for a living for the Detroit Free Press, and you can follow Tony on X at Real Tony Garcia. Real Tony Garcia. Tony, it's David and Mark. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
No problem, gentlemen. I'm well. How about yourselves?
Well, we're doing well. We've been intrigued with this Michigan story now for 2+ years and everything that's gone on. When you guys broke this story over the weekend that now it seems like it's coming to an end, how surprising is it that it's coming to an end now, that it took this long, $11 million apparently in legal fees? I mean, is there any part of this that's surprising?
Wow. I'm entering year 5 on the Michigan beat, and it seems like just about every 6 months there's something like this. I'd like to call it surprising, but between NCAA investigations, FBI probes, driving under the influence, various, investigations into the hockey program, a basketball coach assaulting another coach. It feels like it's always something, right? So I wouldn't say surprised at this point, because I don't know if the writing's been on the wall, but a lot of people have been wondering how long things like this are going to go on. And I mean, I wouldn't say that it's for sure over, right? I mean, it seems that it's heading that way. I've been told by multiple people that there are discussions of a buyout ongoing. The regents are meeting tomorrow, but that was a previously scheduled meeting. I was told that's not to discuss Ward Manuel's future, and there's going to be a public meeting. And then while everyone's gathered, just for schedule purposes, my understanding is they're going to meet privately as well. And there will be some discussions around college athletics at large, but some of that is about rev share and about the what's going on in Congress and things like that. So it does look like it is moving towards a conclusion, but it's looked like this before. Maybe not quite to this level, but there have been a few times where people thought that Ward Manuel's job was in jeopardy, and It wasn't. Now the investigation into the athletic department, that seems to be over. But even with that, the regents, the president, the athletic director, the attorneys, they weren't presented with a report, despite a $12 million price tag. They were orally presented with the findings, and so we've been FOIAing this report for months. This is why they did a verbal oral report, so people like us could not get their hands on the full thing. It does sound like now that they're going to move towards releasing something, but exactly what and exactly when, I've been told maybe early next week, but I'm not going to hold my breath, because I'd been told May, I'd been told April at one point. When this started in December, it was supposed to be a month or two. We're almost 8 months into this now. So I don't know when this is really going to end.
All right. Full disclosure, I graduated from Michigan State. So I'm trying to be as objective as possible when it comes to this story. But there are so many different layers. And you brought up the hockey coach. There are other incidents with members of the athletic department. And yet Manuel has escaped all of this. When it comes to, there have been a lot of reports saying that Manuel and others knew about the Connor Daniels, because to me, the Sharon Moore and the cheating, that it's scandalous, but I don't know. It's not about wins and losses, if you know what I mean. Yeah. The Connor Stallions thing, there are people out there that think, hey, Michigan only got this title because they cheated. And there's a lot of talk that Manuel knew more about the Connor Stallions thing than and maybe Harborough did, than anybody's letting on. Is there any there that you found out yet, Tony?
Certainly not to Jim Harbaugh. There still hasn't been any evidence of him with prior knowledge. Now, another lawsuit that we've been covering at the Free Press lately is former linebackers coach Chris Partridge has filed a lawsuit against the Regents, against Ward Manuel, against Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti, and I think someone else. There's a lot of lawsuits. We've been going through a lot, but you get the gist. And in that, one of things that he is asserting, and he and his attorneys are asserting, is that there was more knowledge of the former president Sansaono as well, that they knew about this ongoing, about the Connor Stallions situation, the sign stealing. And the way he alleges they found out is when the FBI was investigating former offensive coordinator Matt Weiss into his various computer crimes that he is still awaiting his day in court for. While they were searching his computer, there was evidence of sign stealing tangentially related items on his computer as well, which showed that it's not just sort of a lone wolf situation. Now, again, this is just alleged. This is not proven. This is not a definitive thing. But I agree, just objectively speaking. I mean, while it's horrible to have an affair and
right.
with a subordinate and to do that to your wife and your family, as far as on the field, the bigger story over these past few years has been the Connor Stallions and sign stealing saga.
Well, I have to admit, from afar, for anybody associated with Michigan to sue Tony Petitti, I mean, my goodness, Tony Petitti looked the other way and hardly punished Michigan for everything that's gone on in many different layers of the athletic department. So I don't know how you could sue Tony Petitti. I mean, I think he's been almost on the Michigan payroll the last couple of years. But what is it that's bothering the Michigan faithful the most? Like, because 3 years ago when they won the national championship, there weren't 4 Michigan Wolverines who were upset. They were yelling at anybody who brought up anything about the Connor Stallions scandal. Have things changed? Are they now fed up because of something else? What is it that's most bothering Michigan Nation, if you will?
Yeah, that's a good question, David. I would say it probably depends which faction you ask, right? There's a few different elements here. One, and I'd say probably the overwhelming majority of people, is just another offseason, another Michigan headline, another time that you're making, the media circus go crazy in the middle of the summer for something that doesn't have to do with sports, right? It's for each of the last couple years, findings were coming out about NCAA investigations, and now it's this report that isn't a report that everyone is trying to talk about, and how Ward Manuel seems to be immune to any of these findings to this point. For other people, it's a combination of that and the fact that Dusty May just left after a national championship. And he left after a national championship, and Jim Harbaugh left after a national championship. And so people are saying, some people, super Michigan fans are saying, well, yeah, I mean, everybody has some NCAA violations. Everybody has some skeletons in their closet. That doesn't bother me. Why can't we hold on to any of these winning coaches? Right. And then other people are just sick and tired of the fact that it's always something with this program. Like I said, I mean, I think in the past 4 years, Sharon Moore's ex executive assistant, the woman who he was having an affair with, she's suing the university. Chris Partridge, the former linebackers coach, is suing the university. There have been 6 or 7 coaches who've been given show causes. They're on probation for 7 years. Jim Harbaugh's has a show cause for 14 years. Connor Stallions for 8 years. Denard Robinson for 3 years. Steve Klinkscale, Jesse Minter. I mean, on and on it goes. They've been fined upwards of $30 million. And now there's a $12 million probe into the athletic department. This has cost tens and tens of millions of dollars for negative headlines. And they avoided the worst of it, right? Like you said about Tony Petitti, I mean, no wins were vacated. And obviously that's an NCAA thing, but no wins were vacated. Nobody was ruled ineligible yet. And I don't think that's going to happen, but there are people who are insisting that it might at some point, with things related to the LLC, with Blake Corum and Connor Stallions and the whole bit. So I think people are just fed up with Michigan not being what it says in its fight songs, the leaders and best, no longer being perceived that way, but being perceived like operating like SEC schools have long been perceived.
Well, Tony, obviously being there for 5 years, you weren't there when Michigan was proud of the fact that they did things a certain way, and they weren't winning doing them that way. And we all know, like, I have the utmost respect for the university. I mean, they produce great doctors, great lawyers, great people all around. It's a great academic institution, and they always prided themselves on that, but they didn't like losing anymore. And once they put their money behind their massive amount of money and alumni behind their athletic programs, it worked. And I guess with that, does that come the bad? And I mean, I know they're bad, maybe worse than some other teams, but when they jumped into the deep end of the pool from a money standpoint, the fortunes of their athletic department changed. And I think Manuel largely is saying, hey guys, I'm the one behind all this winning, and you're going to throw me out?
It's a great point, Mark. It's pretty much exactly what he's saying, right? Over his tenure, Michigan has won more Big Ten championships than any other across all the sports, than any other conference team. Michigan is the first team in the CFP era to have won both a college football championship and a men's basketball championship. In the past 5 years, they've won multiple Olympic championships, men's and women's gymnastics. Their hockey program has gone to 4 of the past 5 Frozen Fours. They haven't broken through, but many believe it's a matter of time when you're knocking on the door that frequently. And that's not to mention hundreds, thousands of all academic, all Big Ten people. So they can still talk about the academic component, which is very important at Michigan, even for the athletes, and the financials, which are in much better shape than they were when he took over for former athletic director Dave Brandon. And that's despite going through COVID-19 and all the troubles that all the universities went through. That's despite going through an entirely new NIL era and having to get alignment from the president to the board to the athletic department to the NIL people with Champion Circle, and the money's in a really good place, even while being fined $30 million. Right? I mean, they have an incredible endowment at the University of Michigan as well. And so much has gone right. That's how you had been able to, like, even as these notable issues are trickling and coming down the pike, you can kind of, some people could excuse it away or look the other way. And there is, I mean, to the Ward Manual defender's points, is he supposed to know that an offensive coordinator is going to just start looking through online profiles, right? Is he going to know that a head coach is going to smack another assistant coach down the line? Like, some of these things are human error, and I mean, I would argue that you need to respond right away and quickly. And some of these findings that are coming out, it seems like with other things, as far as Sharon Moore and what he might have known and didn't know, and I can report that in 2024 he was told or Ward Manual told Sharon not to travel with Paige Shiver, his executive assistant, the week before the first game where he was head coach. But there's no enforcement. The chain of who you're reporting to, and if it's compliance, if it's the athletic department, if it's internally in the program, nobody was actually holding things accountable, from what it sounds like. And so it's just been one thing after another with this department. So there's been a lot of success, and that's how they were able to move this along.
Tony, we got about 15 seconds. If you had to put a percentage, the odds that Ward Manual is athletic director when the football season starts, what are the odds? 10 seconds.
I asked somebody that question last week. I'm going to cop out 50.
Wow.
30. There's still a chance. The president likes him. I'll say that.
So you're saying there's a chance. Tony Garcia?
He ain't going down without a paycheck.
Well, that's right. 1.9 a year for at least 4 more years. So Tony Garcia, Detroit Free Press. Tony, thanks so much. All right. Have a great rest of your summer.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Tony Garcia, Detroit Free Press, Real Tony Garcia. You follow him on X. Seth Everett is next.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Millerand Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at @MarkMiller or me at @TheDavidMoulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Millerand Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest, now try the best. Millerand Moulton, MillerandMoulton.com.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Buying or selling a home? Put a local expert to work for you. I'm Mark Miller, and I believe real estate is about more than transactions. It's about helping people make the right move. From pricing your home to negotiating the best deal, I'll be with you every step of the way. Call or text me today, 239-425-5582. That's 239-425-5582. Experience, local knowledge, and the best personal service. That's the difference.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Hi, Seth.
Hi there.
Look at you. Arsenal mug, England shirt.
I'm ready.
Oh, my goodness. How many Arsenal players on the England team?
4.
4. Okay. Any on Argentina?
0.
Okay.
Yesterday was a 3 and a versus a 1, and the 1 got hurt. But this one, there's no question who we want to win. And, you go through the conversation we had last week. The dude on England, Jude Bellingham, right? He's like the big stud. He has never played in England. He played in Germany and now plays in Spain. He has never played a professional game in England.
And he's the other goal scorer, right?
Yeah, he's the other dude. Yeah.
There's the one guy on the English team and he's not the goal scorer. He's the, whatever. I have trouble with positions, but he plays like the wing. He can fly. Like he's a setup guy. He can flat out run. That guy's fun to watch. I don't know.
Oh.
You're asking me to remember names of soccer players. I've been watching all these games. I don't know. What are you doing?
I just find it fascinating that he's never played in the country that he represents. Not for a minute.
Mark, did you see Tony Garcia's cat climbing all over the furniture behind him?
Yeah. I did it, David, just so you know. I just commented in the app for the team. Are we selling anything? Are we providing a service, or are we just begging for money? I don't care. Because I texted one of the other dads, and he's like, is that what this is? Basically asking for cash? I'm like, 100%. And this guy makes cash. He's got money. My daughter has a fundraiser for her soccer team where they're basically standing in front of a grocery store.
Yeah.
And asking for money. Like they're not selling anything. It's not Girl Scouts with cookies. They're not
offering any kind of a good or service.
No, it's give me money for my privileged white travel team.
Might as well put a Santa hat and get a candy cane.
No candy canes. Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Not even a lollipop from the bank. Nope.
A lollipop from the bank.
Mark feels this is like borderline a felony. Okay. This is probably one of the 5 biggest things in life that annoys him. I think he's more annoyed by this than he is like 14 people and 14 items in the 10 or under line.
Yeah, Seth, I was saying earlier, I went to Publix that's our big grocery store. I get my prescriptions there. And I'm waiting for my prescriptions. And a guy walks out from behind the counter and says, hey, man, I'm glad you're doing better. Shakes my hand. Really enjoy your show. So glad you're back on the air, rooting for you. I'm like, he caught me off guard. And I of course, said thank you. And I'm like, I had the manager of Publix. I've got a lot of questions for you. There are things I need to know about here.
Right. We got the shopping carts.
Podcast.
Yeah. We got the carts and the, taking up parking spots.
There's a guy in my building.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We're halfway home, at least in Jacksonville and Tampa, St. Pete. Final hour, Live Oak Lake City, Southwest Florida, and a few other places as well. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Seth Everett joins us at this day and time. You know that. Seth Everett, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice. This is a Hall of Justice week, right?
Hall of Justice week. Yep. The Punisher.
Okay. All right. We'll get to that near the
sorry.
end.
Take it back. It's not the Punisher.
Okay.
Okay. Well, good. And it'll give
but
you,
it is. It is.
It'll give you 10, 11 minutes to think of what it is you're going to promote.
By the way, on that genre, did you were thumbs down on Supergirl, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was a weird weak movie. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst thing ever. I don't understand the vitriol against the girl who played her. She was fine. I didn't like the story. It didn't make a lot of sense to me.
For whatever reason, my mom's fired up and wants to take my daughter to see that. And I'm like,
yeah,
I think Seth bashed it, but
have fun.
I didn't say anything.
You can give her my number.
Right. So I can't wait.
Send her the podcast.
I can't wait till she comes back and tells me how great it was, and I'll just giggle.
Yeah, there you go.
So that was all I was thinking. She was over for dinner last night, and she's talking about how much she wants to see it. I'm going, I got a guy that's really into this stuff, and I didn't think he was that high on it. But I just shut up.
Is it still in theaters? It tanked.
I don't know.
Tanked.
You're asking the wrong guy when it comes to movies. It's World Cup time, Seth.
Seth, what movies aren't tanking? Okay, I mean, for goodness sakes, the Moana movie with The Rock just tanked.
But Toy Story 5 did great.
Which makes me wonder. I didn't even know there was a Toy Story 3 or 4, and we're at 5. That got me too.
Yeah, I've seen them all. They're really, really well done. And I'll see Toy Story 5. I'm not going to go to a movie theater to see it. I'll see it when it comes on Disney Plus, but I'll see it.
Yeah, we paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, 1 and 2 were awesome. I'm sure they're funny.
Yeah,
any of those shows that have
that kid is 45 now.
He's betting on the World Cup today, for crying out loud.
That's right.
And I do think, Mark, we just need to tell our audience, Seth, I'm not really into the World Cup. Everett has got his Arsenal mug, his England shirt, okay, and he's apparently beyond all in at 3:00 this afternoon.
Well, yes, I'm rooting for my guys this whole tournament. I have only watched games where my guys are in, my Arsenal players are in. So I've watched 6 teams. Belgium was one of them. Ecuador was one of them. England, Spain, France. It just so happens that all the leaders have Arsenal guys. But, this is my Jack Hughes in the Olympics argument. William Saliba left after 30 minutes yesterday with a back injury. Now, we don't know if it was precautionary because you can't get a normal statement out of these guys. But if he misses significant time, it's John Tavares all over again. And this is what I can't stand about this tournament. And the notice that has gone on from this tournament, because FIFA and their greed expanded this thing to 48 teams from 32, this tournament is going so close into the start of the season. These players have 2 and 3 weeks off. I have heard that the English players, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, will probably miss 3 or 4 games because of this World Cup.
Well,
3 or 4 games.
That's terrible for their club teams. It doesn't hurt them one bit, because if they happen to win 2 more financially, the way that they'll be compensated for the rest of their lives. And Seth, look at, and I know people in this country don't care about the Falkland Islands, but I started reading the history of England and Argentina.
England versus Argentina. Yeah.
A great article in The Athletic that it doesn't just go back to the hand of God match. It goes back to when England last won the World Cup. And from the sounds of it, Argentina got hosed in that game, from what I'm reading. And even some of the English players said so. So the history of these two
It's a bitter rivalry. Yeah.
This is Yankees Red Sox to Americans. I mean, this is Michigan Ohio State. This is real. And
it's a real thing. And a lot of the players haven't seen the other team, so they don't know, the other team. They don't know their tendencies and things like that. It's a fascinating game. I'm 100% on the ramifications of these two nations is fascinating. The whole thing is wild.
Can I just one question on this? We've talked about it before, but these games mean more to your guys.
I know.
Than the games that you're all worked up about. I mean, honestly.
100%. What I have been told, and I saw this in my my Arsenal WhatsApp group, club over country. Club over country. That's how they do it. And there's a whole faction of people in England that would rather see their club team win than this.
That's crap.
There is another side. It's just the players do not want this. I understand what this is. I'm not naive. I understand what this is. But when this guy leaves after 30 minutes, guys go down all the time during these games, and you never know if it's serious. And all of a sudden, he's calling for the trainer, and the next thing you know, they're making a sub at 30 minutes into this game, and it's my guy. That's terrible.
Well, of course, you don't know the extent of the injuries. They fake everything. How could you know the extent?
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what you hope when he went down. That's when immediately what you're thinking is he's faking it, or it's a boo boo, or it's whatever it is.
Boo boo.
It's a boo boo. That's what they get. They get boo boo.
Been said on this show.
I was going to say, are you day to day with a boo boo? Is that how that works? Are you officially day to day?
Yeah.
Wow. Just for the record, guys, I think it was that particular case yesterday when he sat down in the middle of the pitch. Okay. And we didn't, and my wife said to me, "What's going on?" And I said, "Oh, somebody from the 300 section shot him." Okay. He'll be lucky to survive. I don't know if he'll make it. He'll be dead on arrival. Okay. This is very severe. Okay. And she sees the replay and he wasn't touched. And I go, "It's soccer, man. This is severe. This is life-threatening."
Well, I've already read one article that says it was precautionary. Another article says he's going to be missing until January.
All right. How surprised are you? Because look, we knew the U.S. television numbers would be huge. I get that Mexico, England numbers, when you combine them, were actually bigger than the U.S. Belgium game. When you combine Telemundo and Fox, but the fact that these quarterfinal games, and I don't know what yesterday and today will do, because 3 o'clock in the U.S. and 12 o'clock out west, that's a tough number. But these games are doing big numbers. I mean, games that don't have
way exceeding expectations.
So, how surprised are you? And how good do you think that is? Now, I know you said last week that teams are going to pick their Premier League team now. I'm not sure about that, but I do think it gets more interest because of this. But just your surprise level at how much the American sports fan, because this isn't the soccer fan, this isn't the Spanish-speaking soccer fan, this is the American sports fan that's very interested, even though the U.S. is long gone.
Yeah, I thought it would be like the comparable of like an NBA playoff or a baseball playoff. This is now AFC, NFC championship game numbers. I mean, these numbers are intense, and you're going to exceed that today. Today, I think, is going to set the English speaking record. It's far exceeded. What it also tells me is the rights for the 2030 World Cup is open, and I think between Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Fox, ESPN, I think they're going to have literally like a big mud wrestling fight to try to get the rights to this thing. And FIFA is going to make an absolute killing.
We don't know how Fox can retain the rights. They don't have a streaming service.
Correct.
Everything else you mentioned is either a streaming service or a company that has a streaming service. It's like what, 440, 470 right now that Fox is paying a year. Miller and Moulton think it'll be $1 billion or more.
But the problem with Netflix is it's actually their reach is going to hurt their chances, because they want to sell the U.S. English rights separately, then they want to sell the BBC and the Spanish league. So they don't want a service that can reach all these places because, pirating and all that other stuff, that they think that could actually hurt this. My gut instinct is this is going to Amazon Prime. That this is going to be an Amazon Prime thing. Amazon's going to pay a fortune for it. Netflix has the Women's World Cup next year, and I'll be interested to see what the numbers are for that globally. But I don't know if they can geotag that stuff. I mean, I know they geotag it.
Amazon's figured it out. I mean, they do it with the baseball and the hockey and a lot of other things. So they've already figured out that technology. On that note, Seth, and I know you don't watch baseball, and I sure as hell know you didn't watch the Home Run Derby, but Netflix had it.
15 strikeouts last night?
It was whatever.
That was just for the National League.
I watched the Earth, Wind, and Fire documentary. It was great.
Okay. But Netflix had the Home Run Derby. Most people think it was a dud. How much do things like that hurt their chances of getting other things in your estimation?
That doesn't impact them. They like events and they like unique things. And Netflix is going to take that broadcast and they're going to scrutinize it and they're going to try to tweak it to make it more interesting next time. Good luck to them. That's great. It's just like they're not going to go for the AFC package in the fall, but they're going to go for a Christmas Day doubleheader. Netflix loves events more than regular sports, and I think the World Cup is exactly the kind of thing that would appeal to a Netflix. I just don't know necessarily that. I don't know that there's going to be one broadcaster. I could see FIFA splitting this, and I could see Fox retaining some of the rights and also adding a streamer to it. I don't know. I really don't know, but these ratings are far exceeding any kind of realistic expectations.
All right, 20 seconds. Hall of Justice, go.
The Punisher, One Last Kill, is a one-shot, 60-minute special that takes place after Daredevil Season 1 and coincides with this upcoming Spider-Man movie, but was released after Daredevil Season 2. Makes no sense whatsoever. And Judith Light is in it, and she is remarkable. Punisher, One Last Kill. We talk about it on the Hall of Justice. And I'm going to finish it right now.
Wow. I've got a headache just from your explanation. Good luck
John
finishing the
Bernthal,
podcast.
great.
Seth Everett on Miller and Moulton.
The Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well,
So
head
there
to
are-
Am- I could have another poll question. It's as simple as this. Who do I get grief from for my comment on the team website or the app first? The coach, the mom who set up the fundraiser, or my wife? Don't care. Could be right, Tim. Could be right. I know I've got a couple dads that are on my side. I'm saying what they won't. I know my daughter's on my side. She's disgusted by it. Ay, ay, ay. Da, 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 da. Oh, I didn't hit this one yet. Dang.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Christopher Powers, the Loop Podcast, Golf Digest. We'll talk golf, the Open Championship, which gets underway in 17 hours, 1:35 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. And they have tee times going for about 10 hours because nobody goes off the back. Threesomes off the front and 156 golfers. So there, it takes a while. Thank goodness there's apparently not going to be any bad weather that's going to stop play. A chance of a sprinkle, I think, is the most radical weather. You know, is that kind of like the equivalent of a boo-boo?
A sprinkle?
Okay, yes. If
Right.
you get a sprinkle at the Open Championship, is that the Seth Everett equivalent of a boo-boo? Wow. You and I both stared at one another like, did he just go boo-boo? We've been doing this 20 years.
Right.
Has that ever been spoken by anyone on this show?
No. I was thinking when we had, what's his name? He's a comedian, been in a bunch of movies. Jay Moore.
Yeah.
If you remember his comment, and I won't say it, but
Yeah, that was a little more than a boo-boo.
he finished with a line that I know has never been uttered before or since on this show.
No question about it.
And he wasn't talking about Bruce Springsteen's glory days, but it was close to that.
No, he was not.
So
was
we
maybe saying similar words, a little different meaning.
correct.
Right.
So when that was said, and it was as we went to break. So I just laughed hysterically, and we come back a couple minutes later, it's all done. But he went boo-boo.
Right.
very early on, hoping it was a boo-boo. Hey, boo-boo. Interesting point that he made, though, about Netflix. That, again, and we've talked about this, these are the rights to English-speaking U.S. citizens that we're talking about with the television rights. Because England sells their own rights, France, Spain, Italy. And when you add all of those up, it's actually more than Fox. Now, I don't know if it's more than Fox and Telemundo combined, but it's right there. But when you look at the U.S. television rights and the distribution of Netflix, because the World Cup, unlike Apple TV making their big bid for MLS, and I know it pales in comparison. Work with me just for a second here. They just took the money. The World Cup's pretty big on this is the most watched event in the world. They want as many eyeballs on their product as possible. Yes, they want the money. I'm not a fool, David. But the eyeball part of this is important. It is. So does that help ESPN over in Amazon if money's similar?
Okay. What you and Seth are saying makes sense unless, whether it's Netflix, Apple TV, whoever, that if FIFA looks at them and goes, listen, we appreciate that you want to take the U.S. English-speaking rights from 450 million, let's just say, to $1 billion a year. We're very appreciative of that. However, you're also going to be available in all these European countries and elsewhere. And right now we're getting money to be in those markets that, okay, they wouldn't be in those markets unless we gave those rights away, and you're not going to be able to black yourself out. So in other words, you're going to have to give us like double, because we're not going to give the England rights to the BBC anymore. Okay, we're not going to give, the French rights to this company and the Spanish rights to this company. And so you're going to have to pay us as if you're the BBC and France and Spain and whatever. You're going to have to, all those fees, you're going to have to pay us. But Mark, these streaming services can. I mean, if FIFA literally said, listen, if you want the rights, it's going to cost you $2 billion. Okay, that's the only way we can do it and not hurt ourselves. But Mark, Apple TV, Netflix, I mean, if they really want the rights to the World Cup, and FIFA said the $1 billion's a nice thought, we need you to double it. Okay. I mean, seriously. I mean, they're not doing this to make money, in my opinion.
Well, again, David, when you look if you're then saying they could get the worldwide rights, there are countries that don't have the ability to stream, and the government controls the rights of TV in these countries. They're not getting those.
Right.
Now, if they're getting Europe, which I think is highly unlikely, I don't care what they pay, because they're going to get more out of the BBC, and they're going to get more out of whatever French TV service does it.
Right.
beIN Sports actually has France. Germany has different groups that have it. I mean, these countries are all paying huge sums of money. What we're saying is that Amazon Prime, and why Seth said Amazon, and I think he's right on this, Amazon Prime's already figured out the way to geofence their broadcasting. It's why when the Yankee game says Amazon Prime, I can't watch it. So I don't know. I think Apple has the same services, and Netflix could probably develop them. But we are ahead of the world when it comes to streaming. Far ahead.
Yes.
So the World Cup going streaming worldwide seems unlikely in this next 2 World Cups to me.
Right.
Down the road, you may be right. But where we are right now, I don't see that happening. Again, if they want to spend $4 billion, $3 billion, anything's possible. But they are only, because also some of the World Cup rights in Europe, David, are already done for next time. This is just a U.S. thing. They're not up worldwide. Okay.
Correct.
But that's the other part of this.
Right. This is just the Men's World Cup, and it's just English-speaking Men's World Cup in North America.
No, in the United States.
Okay. For 2030 and 2034. That's all they're putting on the market. This isn't like NBC buying the next 10 Olympics. No. FIFA's like, we'll do 2 at a time.
But I mean, it's not even North America. It's not, it's not Canada. It's the U.S., period. And that's how they make as much money as is humanly possible. I just thought it's an interesting point that I don't know if Netflix technologically can handle, and the fact that the distribution is what it is.
Yeah.
They're jumping up and down about these numbers.
And they should be.
Amazon's got much better distribution than Netflix. Don't know about Apple TV. But I do think it makes ESPN and where they're going with ESPN Plus and direct to consumer and all the things by the next World Cup. How many more people are going to be getting ESPN direct to consumer? A lot more to me, David. A lot more.
Well, and not to bore you too much on this, but there aren't a lot of places where ESPN can cut back. Like they're all in on college football. They're all in on college basketball. They're all in on the NBA. They're all in on the NFL. Okay. They can save 100 or so million scaling back on MLB, and they can save 400 million a year if they decide to get out of the business with the NHL. But, okay, they can save 500 million a year. That ain't going to be enough.
But if they take all the money from the cable companies and go direct to consumer, how much more can they make? And that's the dilemma they're at right now. Miller and Moulton. We'll talk the Open Championship. Christopher Powers next.
No! This summer, there's only one place to experience the roar of the World Cup at the British Open Pub in Bonita Springs, your World Cup headquarters, where the team is bringing every match live, full sound on every TV across the patio, with daily food and drink specials from the opening match on June 11th through the final on July 19th. Catch the electric atmosphere for every England and USA match and all the matches in between at the British Open Pub, Bonita Springs, at the shops of Pelican Landing, where the World Cup comes alive.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I don't know if the players, I don't know, RCB, as far as the players, I don't get. FIFA gets all the money. I mean, they get it all. And I don't know how the money is distributed from the TV rights. That's a great question. So teams get money for winning. It's a nonprofit. So basically, screw you.
I guess you make $12.5 million if you make the World Cup. You get $10 million for one thing and $2.5 million for prep. So $12.5 million if you make it. They think the winner of the World Cup is going to make about $50 million. The country is. So then the country divvies it up amongst their players.
But from 2023 to 2026, that financial cycle for the World Cup, they generated $13 billion in revenue. They state that 90% of the revenue is allocated back into football through competitions and development programs, and the rest covers operating and administrative expenses.
So apparently, like the World Cup final is a $17 million soccer game. Difference in prize money between first and second place.
Absolutely, Big OC. You start and end there, and then we talked about the other ones. You're 100% right.
In fact, we said, how about we answer the question without including Lawrence Taylor?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Christopher Powers scheduled to join us coming up in the next couple of moments. Talk a little golf and the Open Championship. He from the Loop podcast and Golf Digest. Christopher Powers scheduled to join us here on Miller and Moulton. So, that's it. I actually thought we were having a very interesting during the commercial break conversation with our chat room about the money distribution for the countries in the World Cup. The final is a $17 million match. The difference between first and second place, prize money that gets handed out from FIFA to the country's soccer federation. I guess if you win the World Cup, you make 51 million. And if you finish second, you make 33 to 34 million.
And obviously, if you remember when the women's team in the U.S. complained about the money they were earning and essentially went on strike to get more, these players all get paid for being on the World Cup team. I mean, they get a salary for their participation, at least with the U.S., and I know all the world teams are the same way, just I don't know how it's distributed. But yes, $13 billion in revenue for the cycle of this World Cup for FIFA. $13 billion. Man, you could buy the Seahawks and have some money left over.
Right. You could buy the Seahawks and an NHL team, for goodness sakes. Right. Whoever wins the Claret Jug Sunday, not going to make that kind of money. Okay, we're going to have to take quite a few zeros off. But they'll win a major like Scheffler did last year. Christopher Powers, he covers golf for a living. He's part of the Loop podcast, The Loop, and he's also part of Golf Digest team to cover the sport. All right, follow Christopher on X at C Powers 14, the letter C, Powers 14. Christopher, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Well, it's always our pleasure. So the weather reports, and let's hope they're a little more accurate over there than they are here, but they've had virtually no rain. The course is hard, dry, and fast. I think that adds about 30 golfers who can win this as opposed to when the conditions are softer. Your thoughts on the conditions and whether or not it's, favors certain guys or not?
Could not agree more with what you just said. I think it opens it up to a lot of guys who maybe hit it a little bit on the shorter side, but are in more control of their golf ball. You've heard guys say that 5 irons are rolling out 300 yards. So going to be interesting. I would imagine guys banging driver, you could get into a little more trouble with a bigger miss, which will be nice to see this week. But yeah, I mean, I added a couple guys to my betting card this morning that really good iron players that maybe don't hit it super far, but keep it in the fairway, keep it in front of them. Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for it. I don't know if we'll see a crazy long shot. I do think we're still going to see the cream rise to the top here, but I definitely think there's going to be some crazy names at the top of the leaderboard come Sunday morning.
Well, and usually at the end of Thursday too. I mean,
Yes.
I was looking at prop bets and different things, top tens or just some individual matches that I think are fun to bet on. I started thinking about the Thursday leader because it seems like this is usually a tournament that a guy you haven't heard a lot about, you probably have, but the rest of the sports world may not know. Like the Moulton Lee, who's, played well in some majors. The guy that I'm on right now for that's Matthew Jordan. He's going off at 250 to 1. He's finished in the top 10, 2 of the last 3 Open Championships. That's a guy to me that I'm like, is he worth betting on for the Thursday lead, if you know what I mean?
I hope so, because 10 minutes ago, I just bet on Matthew Jordan to be the first round leader. So we're on the same page there. There's a guy I really trust when it comes to first round leader bets on Twitter. That's on him. So I added him to my card. A guy I really like for that as well is Victor Perez, kind of on the older side, Frenchman. I think he went to live for a little bit last year. Now he's back on the DP World Tour. Played last week. I believe he finished in the top 10 at the Scottish Open. He's always hanging around. I think at the Olympics that Scotty won a few years ago, he was in the mix for the bronze medal. I think he ended up finishing in 4th. But just like a wily veteran type player, I think guys like that are definitely going to have a good week. And I like him, especially on Thursday.
Well, maybe this is wishful thinking. He won on this course 9 years ago. But if you can take the driver out of Jordan Spieth's hands, I think that helps Jordan Spieth. Okay, so, whether he's still hitting 3 or 5 or 7 wood, or he's just out there banging a 4 iron, I just think that it gives him a better chance to maybe be on the first page of the leaderboard on the weekend. Do you think that Spieth has any chance in these conditions to compete, or quite frankly, yeah, he's done. He ain't winning these suckers anymore?
I don't think he's winning this sucker for sure. I hope, I think someone asked him, do you feel like you've peaked already and you're never going to be able to get back to that? And he said, of course not. You always want to reach your peak again. I personally don't think he's ever going to get there again. Could he win one, one last run? I think so. But right now, I mean, he's played the worst he's played all year over this last month. And that's with, he hasn't had a top 10 all season, but he's been hanging around. He's top 20. He's had some spikes with his irons. He's had some spikes, around the green, but he just hasn't been able to put 4 rounds together. And now over this last month, I mean, T56, T66, I'm looking at T58. Those are his last 3 starts. So while he's making cuts, he's just not really putting it together. I don't think that's just going to magically happen this week just because he's back at Royal Birkdale. Not to mention, I mean, it was wet. It was soft that week. Course was shorter. This is an entirely different golf course they're playing. He doesn't seem to be in full control of his ball. And I think you're going to need to be this week because the ball is going to roll everywhere once it hits the ground. It's not gonna stop where you want it to. So he scares me this week.
You know, when I'm hanging out with my guys after a round at the club, they all hate Brandel Chambly, but they don't like Bryson either because they're old. Young guy likes Bryson. Old guy doesn't like Bryson. Brandel Chambly with his comments yesterday from chasing Scheffler and Rory to Grant Horvat, that may have endeared Brandel Chambly to more old golf fans than anything he said ever, Christopher.
That was an all-time line. I actually just wrote about it on golfdigest.com. That had to be one Brandel was practicing in the mirror all night, but he delivered it. He knocked it out of the park. He always does on major weeks. I think people just have a fundamental misunderstanding of how television works, and Brandel is amazing on television. He's supposed to piss you off. He's supposed to piss those old guys you play golf with off, and he's doing his job on that front. He's supposed to make you feel some sort of emotion one way or another, and he does a hell of a job of doing that.
Well, we've had a few people who, when you said I added a few really good iron players to my dance card, well, now there's folks that are like, well, he's got to tell us who the really good iron players are. I may want to add him to my dance card.
Well, I'm all over Jacob Bridgman. Just bet him first round leader, bet him outright. I can't believe I think he's 210 to 1. I bet him this morning. That's insane to me. I mean, he won at Riviera this year. He's been one of the best iron players and putters on the planet this year. Kind of cooled off a little bit, but popped back up at the John Deere. So that's a crazy number. A guy who's played great that we thought, maybe after Oakmont, he kind of was about to go away. He's totally turned it back on, especially after winning Valero. That's JJ Spawn. He's at 80 to 1, another really good iron player, guy in full control right now. So Spawn and Bridgman are the two guys that I was talking about.
All right, there's a group of guys at 30 to 1. It's a pretty long list, but who do you like the best out of Hatton, Gotterup, Justin Rose, Morikawa, Hovland, Cam Young, and Robert McIntyre? Like, I think that's a great group to get good value of a guy that's considered one of the favorites of this tournament. Is there one you like more than the rest?
Two. I bet on two of them. I wish I could bet on all of them because I agree. All of those guys scare me this week. I think Colin Morikawa the most. But I bet on Chris Gotterup and I bet on Victor Hovland. Gotterup just, kind of seems like the next step for him is winning one of these majors. He's already proven with the win at the Scottish Open last year, contended again. And then obviously he contended in the Open last year too. So he likes this style of golf. So I like his chances this week. And then Victor Hovland, that's kind of just a FOMO bet for me. I wish I was on him at the Travelers. He was something like 50 to 1. That's a crazy number. Goes out and wins, beats Scotty. That's a big confidence booster. He's got a really good record in this tournament, the Open Championship. So I like Gotterup. I like Hovland. Not being on Morikawa scares me though.
Christopher Powers, his podcast is The Loop Podcast, and he writes for Golf Digest, golfdigest.com. Follow him on X at the letter C Powers 14, C Powers 14. This whole split tour thing, is there anything that you've heard in the last month since we last talked that you like or you hate more? I think I've told you that my big thing is that I think the guys should be allowed to drop down and play one or two events on the Challenger Series if they have a relationship with a sponsor, a tournament director, somebody who's helped them out in the past and he wants to return the favor. That, I think, is a big mistake. I don't know why they can't give the guys one or two mulligans. Quite frankly, I would think you could challenge that in court if you really wanted to. But just curious, is there anything in the last month that's changed your opinion about the future?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I don't know how I feel about this 2-track thing. I know Rory McIlroy made some comments about he doesn't want to see certain events become glorified Korn Ferry Tour events. But I think to your point, that would be a great way to allow some of these guys back and to give those fields kind of a little extra star power. doesn't sound. It just seems like they want to, they want those guys to be punished justly. I don't know. I feel like enough time has passed, and we're all ready to move on. But yeah, nothing else I've heard that's changed my opinion on that.
All right, one guy to win. If I got to narrow it down, I mean, you bet to make money. Well, I mean, we all do, but I mean, I've said it's kind of foolish to just, when you're betting golf, to pick one or two guys to win. You might as well go buy a lottery ticket, because it's about the same damn thing. You got to bet individual matches. You got to bet top 10. You've got to scatter your money around. Think of it like horse racing, if you will. But if I'm going to force you to go bet a $5 win ticket on someone, who would it be?
It's Matt Fitzpatrick, and I've bet him at all the majors this year to no avail. So I'm pretty pot committed, but I mean, now is as good a time as ever. I think he's been arguably the best player on the planet this year. To not win a major sort of at the peak of his career, which I feel like is right now, would be really disappointing. So I heard a great point this morning that Padraig Harrington and Jordan Spieth were both at their very peaks when they won here at Royal Birkdale. To me, that guy is Matt Fitzpatrick this week. Unfortunately, it seems like the entire world is on him, and that usually never ends well. But maybe he could be the guy to sort of give us all a nice little community win. And it'd be what a day it would be for England if one of those guys and obviously the soccer team gets it done.
Well, it's funny you say that. I'm very superstitious. I'm waiting till after the match today between England and Argentina. If Argentina wins, then I'm not betting an English golfer. But if England wins to go to the final for the first time in 60 years,
got them all.
Totally. And line them up. Okay, yep. $10 across the board. Let's go.
Yeah, I believe me, if Tommy Fleetwood's making a charge on Sunday and England's playing, that's going to be really upsetting to not be a part of. But hopefully it's Matt Fitzpatrick for my sake.
I would love to see one of the English players against one of the American players head to head, with how badly we have kind of gone after foreign golfers at our championships. It would be interesting because they put the code of conduct in for fans.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
All bets are off on Sunday if England's won the World Cup.
Bring it on.
Oh, my goodness. Do you know how drunk? Well, no, the British ends before the final.
Well, they're going to move if they win. They're going to change the tee times because they don't want a mass exodus at Royal Birkdale. So we'll be getting up way earlier than we think on Sunday morning here in America if England's playing in the final.
The podcast is The Loop. Golf Digest is where he does his writing. He's Christopher Powers. Follow him on X, the letter C, Powers 14, C, Powers 14. Good luck with Matthew Fitzpatrick, and we'll talk soon, Chris.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Christopher Powers joining us once again here on Millerand Moulton. 3/4 of the way home on this hump day.
No!
This summer, there's only one place to experience the roar of the World Cup, at the British Open Pub in Bonita Springs, your World Cup headquarters, where the team is bringing every match live, full sound on every TV across the patio, with daily food and drink specials from the opening match on June 11th through the final on July 19th. Catch the electric atmosphere for every England and USA match and all the matches in between at the British Open Pub, Bonita Springs, at the shops of Pelican Landing, where the World Cup comes alive. Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yes, it is, Tim. Yes, it is. That was shoveling some eggs there, kids.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the final hour of Miller and Moulton in Jacksonville and Tampa, St. Pete. MillerandMoulton.com is also how you can take in this show. And if you miss anything, MillerandMoulton.com is where you go to download what you missed. For those of you who are foaming at the mouth and are tolerating us talking soccer and golf and baseball when you're like, I only care about football. When can we talk about football? I think it's Friday and this weekend where some rookies will be reporting to some camps. I believe there's one team that rookies report Friday. But, basically training camps are this month, and we're midway through the month. So while we're 56 days away from Seahawks and Patriots, 8 weeks tonight, we're basically 13 days and under to when everybody's opened up their training camps. For those of you that counts for you. When I can get NFL Network and ESPN sending their team of reporters and getting, practice video and what went down in such and such's camp today, Miller and Moulton don't care about any of that. Only thing that counts in late July and August for us are the injuries.
Bingo.
So, now do injuries happen in practice? Sure they do. They happen in preseason, but that's it. That's what we care about. I mean, Mark, are you going to make a judgment about the Vikings quarterback play based on what you see in 3 preseason games in August?
Well, no, David, but if they're on Hard Knocks, then let's bet them to win the Super Bowl.
So anyway, so for some of you, you've damn near made it. Your fix is going to start to be filled this weekend. I think for most of the rest of us, it's closer to the 56 days, but, you judge accordingly.
Yeah, it's the 56 for me, and I've been screaming about this for a week and a half at least. As I take in at least for a week, I take in a Bud Elliott summer school and listen to a preview of another team. And I'm just bummed out about the beginning of the college football schedule. I really am. But September doesn't lead to a whole lot. Yes, yes, we get Texas, Ohio State. Yes, we get Michigan, Oklahoma. I hope to goodness Clemson's good this year because LSU Clemson to start the season should be terrific.
Well, LSU is worth, if LSU were an NFL team and you could buy the rights to their games, that would be one of the few college teams where you feel like, I could buy all these games.
Well, LSU has, to me, the best September schedule in the country, and I don't think it's close. LSU plays some football early. They get a couple of conference games in September. They get Clemson, Ole Miss, A&M. I mean, giddy up. Let's go. Now, A&M's got a lot of holes to fill. It's actually one of the pods I've listened to. They lost a lot of linemen to Sundays. That's tough. That's tough to replace, even with the budget that Texas A&M has. When you lose guys to leave, it's like when we had the UCF guy on the other day. Their defense wasn't good, and they lost a first-round draft pick at edge.
Right, and I think they lost a third-round pick as well. So, yeah, where they're weakest and thinnest, They actually lost the best talent that they had.
Right. I mean, that's just, it doesn't matter. In today's college football, outside really of Ohio State, Georgia, Texas, who am I missing, David? It's tough to lose a handful of NFL guys and be able to replace them. And I mean, it's kind of happened to Georgia. Georgia's, I don't want to say come back to the pack, but they were the best team for a handful of years. So, Indiana, they have such a lousy schedule early in the season that they've got time to break in a new quarterback, a new receiver. I mean, think about it. Both their receivers went, first and third in the league or first and fourth in the league? The quarterback was the first overall pick at Indiana. I mean, they've got to replace a lot of guys.
Yep.
They had defensive backs that went to the league. So I don't like their schedule. I hate the fact that they get away with it. But when you step back and look at it, 10-2 is going to get them in the playoffs. They got to work through some kinks. Why not have an easy schedule to get your season going when the most important thing, as it's been pointed out for over a decade, is W's?
And make sure the number in the right-hand column is no higher than 2.
Right.
Because we've yet to have a 9-3, 10-3 team make the playoffs.
Let me just ask you that. With that being said, I already mentioned the early part of LSU's schedule. The back end doesn't get any easier. I mean, the middle part's pretty easy. They get Kentucky, Mississippi State, and I don't think Auburn's going to have much this year. But they're at Auburn, but then they have Alabama, Texas, at Tennessee. So, I mean, their schedules, Clemson, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, at Auburn, Alabama, Texas, at Tennessee. Is LSU going to be the team this year if somehow they end up 9-3? Let's just say whatever happens in the Clemson game, but Clemson's a representative good team. They're playing for an ACC title. Whether they win it or not to me is irrelevant, but they're in the mix with SMU and Miami and whomever else comes out there. Is LSU with the teams that I gave you, is that the team that right now you can almost raise your hand and go, if they've got the right 9-3, they're going to be making a strong case against Indiana with 10-2, having not beat anyone, if you know what I mean?
Well, there's should they or will they, Mark, until they put a 3-loss team, and that's with 12 playoff teams.
Right.
Until they put a 3-loss team in the playoff, I'm not going to believe they're going to do it over a 1 or 2 loss group of 4 team. Sorry, I just won't believe it.
I mean, because Indiana, the first 5 games are horrible. Then they play at Nebraska. I mean, that should be a win. Nebraska's at best top end of the middle part of the Big Ten, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Then they've got 2 back-to-back games that are tough. They host the Buckeyes, they go to Michigan.
Right.
Then they host Minnesota, they host USC, they go to Washington, and they play Purdue. So let's just say they're 10-2, and their best win is against USC, which is set up to be a better team this year. How good, we don't know yet. But man, if that 10-2 and your losses are Michigan and Ohio State,
or Ohio State and USC, something like that, right? I think they're in. They're a 2-loss Power 4 team. They're a 10-2 defending national champion. Now, I don't think they'd be hosting a game, but I think they'd be in. Fair or not? Because here's the other thing. It's one thing to give a 2 or 3-loss SEC team the edge over a Big Ten team. But Mark, name the Big 12 or ACC school 10-2 versus 10-2, and they're going to keep Indiana home.
Oh, you're right.
I mean, listen, we were very surprised, even though you could, look at the tail of the tape and come to the conclusion that they did last year. But, I mean, them putting Miami in over Notre Dame, when Notre Dame was in position to make the playoffs for weeks and they moved them down at the end, I was very surprised they did it. And that's Notre Dame with 2 losses.
Well, that to me could be the interesting one. Let's just say, and I don't know if we'll end up, you got your group of 5, you got your Big 12 champ, you got your ACC champ. So we got 9 spots left. And in 12 and 13 are 10-2 Indiana, 10-2 Notre Dame with those 2 schedules. Because Notre Dame has BYU, Miami, and SMU. And that's it, kids.
And Indiana has Ohio State, USC, and Michigan.
Right.
2 home, 1 away. I think it would go edge Indiana.
I think you're right.
Defending 2 things would work in their favor. Defending national champs, all right, and Power 4 versus a school that's not a Power 4. They're the best non-Power 4 in the country, but that to a lot of us was also held against Notre Dame last year. You lost head-to-head to Miami, but if you want to excuse that because it was week 1 or 2 and it was on the road and it was only by 3, okay. But at the end of the day, a Power 4 school versus a non-Power 4 school.
And look at the loser of the Big 12 championship, unless they're undefeated going into it, isn't going to have a lot to bang the table with. Like Texas Tech, who's the favorite. Their non-conference games, Abilene Christian, Oregon State, and Sam Houston State.
I think the best case, Mark, you could make is if it's BYU who loses the Big 12 title game, but they beat Notre Dame in the regular season. That's probably the only scenario I can dream up where, say, they lose the title game to finish 11-2. I think they'd get in close.
Right. But BYU, there's not a lot of good games on their schedule other than that are, their non-conference games are a joke. The team that could do it, but they're not expected to be good. They lost their quarterback already to LSU. Arizona State plays A&M. They beat A&M and were to have an 11-1 going into the conference championship maybe, but they're not supposed to be there. So it is, the Big 12 looks weak this year. Does the ACC have 2 good teams? Who rises that's not named Miami?
What if I told you I'm putting $20 on Notre Dame to be the number 1 team in the country entering the playoff?
I don't think there's a way for that to happen.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
No!
This summer, there's only one place to experience the roar of the World Cup at the British Open Pub in Bonita Springs, your World Cup headquarters, where the team is bringing every match live, full sound on every TV across the patio, with daily food and drink specials from the opening match on June 11th through the final on July 19th. Catch the electric atmosphere for every England and USA match and all the matches in between at the British Open Pub, Bonita Springs, at the shops of Pelican Landing, where the World Cup comes alive.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well, Larry, I'm happier. If as long as they go outside of the organization, if Chris Draper gets it, it doesn't make a change philosophically. But if they go and get somebody like, I don't know if there's certain people that'll take the job with Yzerman's role as senior advisor to Chris Ilitch. But, Jim Nill played for the Wings. He's built a juggernaut in Dallas. Does this mean someone else is trading Larkin? Does this mean Larkin might want to stay? There's a lot of questions, but I'm happier, Larry. I'm happier. Sonny, SMU will have. Phil Steele's got him picked second in the ACC. They bring their quarterback back, which in today's world is a lot, and he was pretty good. So, they open with Florida State, which I think is a good thing for them because I do think while Florida State's not going to be good, they're going to be better. They play at Louisville week 3. There's not much on this schedule for SMU, really and truly. At Florida State Labor Day, at Louisville 2 weeks later. They don't play Miami. They don't play Clemson. Even Pitt, who's picked 5th in the conference, they don't play Pitt. So if they play at Notre Dame November 21st, they could be undefeated. Not if they don't win the conference, Sonny. Not if they don't win the conference. But 11-2, that's interesting. If they go play Miami and lose, and they're 10-2, and they're 11-1 heading into that game, then that's interesting. But I don't think they get in over Indiana. Look at their schedule. UC Davis, Missouri State, Boston College might as well be a D2 team. Virginia, they were a little better last year. I don't know what to expect there. Cal, just a grease fire. Syracuse, not any good. Vatech, we'll see. Wake Forest, awful. At Stanford, awful. That is ridiculous how easy that schedule is. I'm looking at Phil Steele's prognostication here. He has as the 4 worst teams in the ACC, Cal, Syracuse, Stanford, BC. They play them all. He's got Virginia Tech and Virginia tied for 5th. And Florida State 9th. And the Knowles is not a tough game. Sonny, they're picked 9th in the conference. That's not a tough game. It just isn't. Louisville's a pick to be 3rd in the conference behind them. The Hokies, we'll see. They're middle of the pack in a bad conference. That's as easy of a schedule as a team has. If they're if they beat Notre Dame and maybe lose at Louisville, it's got to be 11-2, Sonny, and their losses are, let's say, at Louisville, lose to Miami in the ACC championship, maybe. Yzerman is no longer the GM.
Yeah, but he just went upstairs, right?
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Final thoughts. A pick or two. All coming up in about 15 minutes' time. So are you happy with the news that Yzerman's no longer the GM, or is it just a cosmetic Yzerman's no longer the GM, but every decision still goes through him?
I don't know yet. Can I hold judgment to see how they do this next? The one thing I'm most encouraged about, for those that don't know, I'm a big Red Wing fan. I've been disgusted with one of my hockey heroes. Steve Yzerman's arguably one of my favorite players of all time. He led the Wings to areas that I'd never seen in my life and did it as a great player with the utmost class. As a general manager, he sucked in Detroit. Sucked. He is no longer the GM. He is now the senior advisor to Chris Ilitch. What does that exactly mean? Now, the first good sign to me is his right-hand man was Chris Draper. Chris Draper has not been given the GM VP of Hockey Ops job. Does that mean that they're going outside the family, if you will, to hire a hockey person? And although there's one hockey guy out there that played for the Wings, he's running Dallas, Jim Nill, who's amazing. I don't know. They had a shot to get him, and he left Detroit because Ken Holland was the GM, and he's made Dallas a great organization. They were to get someone like that, I'll do cartwheels. I'm very curious who they hire to replace him before I get excited about what happened today, but it's a step in the right direction. Does this mean that, they're going to move Larkin? Does this mean that whoever the new GM is can convince Larkin to stay? There are a lot of questions here, but I have to be cautiously optimistic.
Okay. Because, when the offseason was beginning, it was Yzerman was going to get kicked upstairs and his assistant was going to get the job, but not a lot of people thought that the roles were going to change. They still thought everything was going to go through Yzerman, and I'm with you. I mean, if you're a Wings fan, love him as a player, can't have any confidence in him as a general manager.
Right. And he made some good moves for Tampa, but he wasn't there for their cups. You've got to remember that. He did not win a cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Brisebois was the GM when that happened. So just for what it's worth, I know that might be semantics because he did set up a lot of that, but the fact of the matter is he's not the guy that brought him a cup. So, yeah, little breaking news towards the end of our show today. Hot changes in hockey in Detroit. Now I hope the new GM, whoever it is, says we're not putting Hockey Town on the ice. We'll reserve that when maybe we make the playoffs again.
I was going to say, you can't go 10 years not making the playoffs in the NHL and call yourself Hockey Town. I mean, Vegas is more Hockey Town right now than Detroit. Can't believe I just said that out loud, and it's true.
Exactly. Tampa's more Hockey Town.
Right. But listen, after the Sabres broke the longest playoff drought in North American sports, hell, I'm thinking anything's possible except the Jets. In fact, we did the countdown earlier this week in which we said there were 7 baseball teams that we say are out of it. That makes 23 that are in it. So as of when play resumes, there's one game tomorrow, but then everybody's back Friday. When play resumes, we've got 7 sellers and 23 buyers. Let me ask you this. What do you think the number is in the NFL?
All right. Off the top of my head, I can go 3 easy.
Okay.
Arizona, Miami, the Jets. 4,
okay.
Tennessee. Like, they could be better, David, but they're not challenging for a playoff spot. You disagree?
Well, I think there's a snowball's chance. Like, I'm with you. I don't think there's a snowball's chance with the Jets, Dolphins, and Cardinals. All right. I think Tennessee's going to be much improved. Much improved.
Browns 5.
Okay.
Vegas 6. And that's just like I can't say the Saints don't have a shot because they can win that division. Super Bowl, no, but playoffs.
So you can make the case for anybody in the NFC East
To make the playoffs, I think the Giants are a long shot, but I don't think it's impossible. I think Washington's a long shot, but I don't think it's impossible. You know, Dallas the playoffs, will they win a game? Of course not.
No. Okay. So how funny is that? We've played 60% of the baseball season. We're ruling 7 teams out. We're ruling 6 NFL teams out. We haven't even started camp. So, 26 in, 6 out, 23 in, 7 out in baseball and football.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from with Tennessee, but because I think so highly of that division right now, I don't see a way for them to get from 3 to 9, 3 to 7, maybe even 3 to 8. But 3 to 9 seems like it's a tall task.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, and it would have to be something like Washington 2 years ago, where literally everything went right. The rookie quarterback was amazing. In this case, it would be the second-year quarterback. The coaching upgrade in Washington 2 years ago was significant. I think Saleh will do a good job in Tennessee.
So
he won 12 games with the Niners, and they had like 21 sacks as a team. That's amazing to me. But so we'll see. Hey, quick sidebar.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What? No, what did you say?
From a Tennessee standpoint, they play the NFC East. They play the AFC North for crossovers. Okay. I mean, we don't know what's good. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati. So, and obviously it's Washington and the Giants. So, I mean,
yeah, I got a shot.
Crazier crap's happened.
Yep. Just throwing this out there. When I saw the comments from the American League manager last night, in which he said, well, this is what you're going to get in the All-Star game going forward. He said, everybody's throwing 98 to 102. He goes, and you're not making the All-Star team unless you throw gas. He goes, so, we could have 3-4 hits, 14, 15 strikeouts, and low-scoring All-Star games going forward. He goes, the way the game is played today, also with everybody up there not trying to make contact, trying to hit the ball out of the park, he goes, I think we could see a lot more All-Star games like this. If we're going to have All-Star games that look and feel like last night, then to me, I think we're closer to moving the World Baseball Classic to July, to coming up with some 4 nations type tournament, Mark, where they take a week and we put 4 nations together and, I don't know, some double elimination, 5-day tournament. Japan, the Dominican, the U.S., and pick another country. And let's go. You could play 2 divisions of 2, best of 3, and then obviously the 2 teams that emerge, they play a championship game.
Well, David, I'm going to say something to you right now. You are all over Seth that people in England, actually, there are people out there that pick club over country. You do this in baseball, you're going to see team over country because people don't care about a Yankee fan in a 4 nation and losing Aaron Judge for a month. They're keeping Judge. And I don't think it's close. I don't think it's even close. Now, the World Cup's a different tournament. I get it. But you would see club over team there.
Well, obviously, it would come down to how much is Fox willing to pay, but I just don't think that last night's game is going to rate.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Alan. And look I know you commented on a bunch of people that are senior advisors. Does Sundin have the power that Yzerman has with the owner? I mean, I would argue that none of those guys would have the power that Yzerman would as a senior advisor. Would he then stop deals that a new GM made? I don't know. That's why I'm curious who the GM is in Detroit. I'm encouraged. I will say that. Because it's been a failure. The folks listening comment, that's a David comment, so I get it. I understand you're all popping in and out, but we opened the segment and talked about Yzerman. I talked about it for 4 minutes, I think.
Yeah, that's the part.
Little different, Deadstroke. You are talking about with Yzerman a guy whose name's in the rafters. I mean, his jersey's retired. I get what you're saying. It's a little different though.
Howe, Lidstrom, Yzerman, in terms of greatest wings of all time.
Oh yeah. Yep, probably in that order. Even though most would want to put Yzerman ahead of Lindstrom. I will tell you, number 13's not far behind.
No. But I'd put Yzerman ahead of Lindsay.
Delvecchio. I don't, obviously I don't, how just because he's Mr. Hockey. I don't know. What I was amazed with is how small Ted Lindsay was. I mean, obviously he was old when I met him and interviewed him, but it was
a great interview. I think we did him that one time.
Did we have him on the show? I remember I had him on. Yeah, we had him on the show once. I had him on an intermission years ago when I met him. He was at an Everblades game. I mean, I had Johnny Bauer on during an intermission. Wish I'd have known more about him when I interviewed him because I didn't. I'll be brutally honest. I'm like, I have to remember Johnny Bauer's hands were huge. Huge. Still, my favorite, best guy I ever had a drink with was Gordie Howe. And the fact that I was 17 when I did it makes it even better. Bunch of kids.
He came to Fargo to promote something. Might have been the USHL team, but it's the last time I had anything to do with them. So it was late 90s.
Yeah, they did, Sonny. It's one of the things that kept Bama out of the playoffs. I mean, it probably is the thing that kept them out, really.
Well, are we talking last year or the year before?
Last year.
Well, they made it last year.
Or yeah, that's right.
They beat Oklahoma and lost to Indiana, but
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes until we're done for the day. We always are appreciative of you listening, joining us, commenting, text line, chat room. Even if we don't always agree and you don't always agree with us. It's sports. It should be debated. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Pat Kerwin on the show tomorrow. And I think we'll get one of the two play-by-play broadcasters, Andy Freed or Kyle Seeloff, Rays or Marlins. I think we'll get one for Thursday, one for Friday. Both the Rays and Marlins begin the post-All-Star break in the playoffs and both on the road.
Biggest news of last night's All-Star game, at least to me, was Junior Caminero getting hit by the pitch. X-rays were negative. Got hit right on the finger, on the pinky finger, it looked like. And high up and in ball, tailed away from the pitcher. Pitcher, you could see it. I mean, you could just see the look on his face. He felt awful. But X-rays negative. How many games, if any, will Caminero miss? That remains to be seen. And obviously something to keep an eye on.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
All right, we start in 1912. Jim Thorpe places in the top 4 in all 10 events, would set an Olympic record and win the decathlon gold medal at the Stockholm Olympics. A year later, he was stripped of the medal because he played low league pro baseball, was not reinstated until 1982. 1923, U.S. Open. Bobby Jones gets his first career major. He did so in an 18-hole playoff. Hoover, he was president in 32, and because of the Depression, he cut his own salary by 15% and reduces the pay of senior federal officials to lower government spending during the Great Depression. Today in 41, the freeze-dried mold cultures of penicillin were first put out there, if you will. Chubby Checker released The Twist today in 60. Apparently it was a dance craze. In 61, at Royal Birkdale, Arnie wins his first of consecutive opens, one of head, winning by one. Today in 72, Trevino goes back-to-back in the Open, wins by one over Nicklaus, first to go back-to-back since Palmer did it 10 years prior. Also in 72, Elton John's first #1 album in the U.S., Honky Chateau, had Rocket Man on it. This was a first and not a good one, but I did this so David didn't have to. Today in 1974, on WXLT in Sarasota, reporter Christine Chubbuck shot herself live on television. First person ever to do that. That's an award you don't really want. Jack completes his third Grand Slam today in 78, winning at St. Andrews by 2 over Crenshaw and Floyd. 1980, Bench breaks Yogi's record with his 314th home run. Run DMC in 1986 becomes the first rap band with an album certified platinum when Raising Hell did that. I guess this should end the argument, even though it won't. Today in 1988, it's July, by the way, and even though the ads say it, Christmas isn't in July. Christmas is in December. Die Hard was released today in 1988.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah. 2005, Wedding Crashers premiered. I've been seeing the previews on one of the services I have. I think it's on Apple, that there's a golf show that Owen Wilson did. There's part of me that wants to watch it, but I've not heard anybody say anything good, nor have I heard anybody say anything bad about it. The Korean singer Psy releases Gangnam Style today in 2012. Worldwide hit, topped the charts in 36 countries and had an annoying dance to it. Stranger Things debuted on Netflix in 2016. France would win the World Cup today in 2018. Deschamps, the third man to win as a player and a coach, for what it's worth. And Messi signed with Inter Miami 3 years ago today. Reportedly between worth 50 and 60 million per year. I guess that depends on how much he gets off of each Apple TV subscription.
I was going to say, who's getting more money on the side? Kawhi Leonard or Lionel Messi?
Rembrandt and Ian Curtis would have celebrated birthdays today. Ian Curtis was the singer from Joy Division. Linda Ronstadt's 80. John Stallworth's 74. Kim Alexis is 66. I feel better now. Forrest Whitaker, 65. Brian Austin Green, from 90210 there, he's 53. Damian Lillard, 36. And Juju Watkins is 24 years old today. What'd I miss, David?
Twitter is 20 years old.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, launched today in 2006. Was not Twitter today. Was TWTTR. And then they went, yeah, that's not going to work. And they changed it to Twitter. But so 20 years old.
And David has already come and gone.
Right. Well, I couldn't contact anybody. Somebody hacked in and I couldn't get in to get control of it back. And when I requested help, they basically said, you're on your own. And I said, well, then I'm out.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
The only other thing I wanted to get to, a dentist in Chicago ordered a Model A Ford today in 1903. Did you have that?
I did not.
The first car ordered from the recently founded Ford Motor Company. It was an $850 two-cylinder Model A with a back seat. Big deal, Mark.
For the good, we go to Clay County in Florida, where Clay County Sheriff's Office posted a video to social media that not only included the audio from the animal's owner, who had reported a pig broke out of his trailer. It was at State Road 220 in US 17, but the video shows deputies chasing down and capturing the pig, which let out loud squeals while being secured with a rope leash. It ended up taking 4 people to force the pig up a ramp into the trailer. The pig is safe. For the bad, we go to British Columbia, where a video posted on Reddit shows a man, shows a golf course and a bear. And the bear steals the golf clubs off of the cart. You can hear the person saying, "Those are my clubs, man." Another says, "Put them back." Apparently, bears have been spotted on the course multiple times in recent days. It tells you don't want to leave your crackers in the golf bag. That's really, there had to be some food there. Or he was sneaking beer on the course and the bear was just thirsty. Finally, the ugly, we go to Vermont, where 9-year-old Joseph Sage said, "I just heard a bang and a car went there. It hit my head and pulled me under." He was swimming in a pool at the Smuggler's Notch Resort when an SUV crashed through a fence and landed in the pool, hitting Sage and others on the way down. Apparently, Dad pulled him out and was able to save him, and no one was hurt. Because of the age of the people hit, for whatever reason, Vermont State Police have not identified the driver or any other information at this time. And that, David, is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Oh, by the way, speed limit's 14 miles an hour at the resort, and the car broke through the fence and went into a pool. Good, bad, and ugly brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department, offering great jobs, great pay. Jobs other than police officers are available. For all information, capecops.com, capecops.com.
Aren't the ESPYs tonight?
They still have those?
Yeah, I know. But I think they're the day after the All-Star game. I think they're still going on. I haven't been interested in the ESPYs in 13 years.
And were you interested in them before that?
A couple times, depending on who the host was.
I will say it is worth going back and watching Norm Macdonald's ESPYs monologue. It's not as good as Gervais at his last Golden Globes, but it's a medalist. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the best part is that the jokes that everybody was like, "Oh, damn, I can't believe he told that joke." They were all taken out of his script. ESPN was like, "Nope, not going to do that one, not going to do that one, not going to do that one." And Norm knew the script. So when he got to that part of the script, he just told the joke that wasn't in the teleprompter and then went back to using the teleprompter. The Griffey Jr., when he tells the one OJ joke, okay, and Griffey puts his hand over his face and you could see him rolling his eyes like, "Oh, damn, he just went there."
He did.
Yes,
He did go there.
Yep.
All right, 3:00 today.
Yep.
England and Argentina. I'm pulling for England, but whoever wins, I'm pulling for to win the World Cup. Nothing against Spain, and I like the way the young kid played yesterday. He was good.
Yeah, he was. 19.
Good-looking young kid, too.
19. Golly.
Yeah, I mean, you root for someone like that. I mean, he's got everything going for him already, but let's hope he has a long, successful career and does nothing stupid. I mean, really and truly. Good-looking kid, plays in a soccer-crazed country, and he's really good at 19. Really good.
Thank goodness, he's going to play in 3 more World Cups if he stays healthy minimum. That only takes him to 31.
And considering Ronaldo played in his 40s and Messi just turned 39.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just remember 4 years ago, everybody was convinced this is it for Messi. You know, can he finally win the World Cup in his last go around? And then he joins MLS. I mean, that's like turning 50 and being on the Champions Tour. I mean, you know, you're just out here stealing money. And then, wait a minute, he's going to play? Wait a minute, he's going to be the leading goal scorer at 39? But England and penalty kicks, 2-2. So they overcome all their history with Argentina, but Mark, they also overcome the awful history they have deep in the World Cup about losing on penalty kicks. They're taking down they're the Red Sox in 04, Mark. They're taking down all the curses. All of them.
They are going to be so nervous. If they win, and I think I'll pick England. If I have to pick, I think I'll pick England. But if they do win, I want them to have to fall behind 1-0. I don't want a coronation. I want them panicking. I really do. I'm playing golf today. I'm going to be done about 2:30. I may head to the British Open pub to watch this, just to see them. And I might not do it till the second half, if you know what I mean. I might leave at halftime, just to see how much tension there can be at one place. But we'll know who's in the World Cup final tomorrow. By the time we're on the air at 6 a.m., they'll have played golf for 4.5 hours. They tee off at about 1:30 a.m. on Peacock. 6 a.m. it switches to USA Network. So that's what we've got going on in the sports world tonight. Tomorrow, Pat Kerwin on the show. We'll get ready for the second half of the baseball season and talk a little NFL as training camps draw near.
Caitlin Clark, 8 o'clock tonight, USA Network, if you're interested.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web, It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Buying or selling a home? Put a local expert to work for you. I'm Mark Miller, and I believe real estate is about more than transactions. It's about helping people make the right move. From pricing your home to negotiating the best deal, I'll be with you every step of the way. Call or text me today, 239-425-5582. That's 239-425-5582. Experience, local knowledge, and the best personal service. That's the difference.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton